Welcome to Oklahoma City, where tonight the best slow pitch players in the country will go toe-to-toe. The stars of today and the stars of tomorrow getting set to take their swings in OKC. It's time for the General Tire Slow Pitch Showdown tonight in Oklahoma City. The USA Futures team, they're made up of guys under the age of 32, taking on the United States national team in an exhibition tonight here in Oklahoma City. I'm Beth Mowens, along with softball Hall of Famer Denny Helmig. And Denny, a lot of power on display. The best players in the world, really, going toe-to-toe tonight.
Without a doubt, and I am really excited to see this because we've got old school versus new school. The old school Team USA has dominated the sport of slow pitch for the last 10 to 15 years. And the new guys, or some of them, are actually teammates of the guys on the old school, and they want to take their positions quick.
Not only the ability to hit home runs, but to manage them as well. There is a 10 home run limit, so you've got to pick and choose your moments to drive in the most runs. How about a couple of guys in particular? Greg Connell might be the best in the world right now.
Greg Connell, the last 3 years, has been the home run leader, RBI leader, and batting average leader in the country. And they have to really keep him in check tonight if the future team wants to win, because he's a vital cog. And Bubba Mack is actually a teammate of Greg Connell's on Resmondo Sports, is the new up-and-coming star of slow pitch softball.
Couple of guys to keep your eye on. There's a lot of power on display tonight. It's Team USA against the U.S. Futures team in an exhibition match tonight here in Oklahoma City.
The 2012 General Tire Slow Pitch Showdown is brought to you by General Tire, anywhere is possible. By Lumber Liquidators, hardwood floors for less. And by the Amateur Softball Association and USA Softball, the national governing body of softball in the United States.
Back here at ASA Hall of Fame Stadium in Oklahoma City as we get set for the U.S. Futures team and Team USA. Now let's check out the starting lineup for the Futures team. These are guys all under the age of 32. A couple of things you'll notice right away. MI is a middle infielder. There are 11 guys in the batting order. EH would be an extra hitter. 10 guys defensively, 11 guys in the batting order. And one of the things that you alluded to just before we came on the air, often, Denny, it's that number 2 guy as opposed to the 4 spot that is the revered power hitter.
In slow pitch softball for better than the last decade, the number 2 hitter has always been the main man in the lineup usually.
Team USA, the national team, out in the field. They've got the red jerseys. And the Futures team with the white shirts.
See if you notice the defense here. They know his tendencies is to hit the ball backside, so they're playing 3 between second and third instead of first and second like they would for a power hitter.
A bit of a shift on defensively.
And there we
go. The 2-2 pitch, grounder, and off the glove of the middle infielder, Bryson Baker. And Kevin Bazat is on base.
Now this will be interesting here to see if Bubba Mack base hits it or tries to hit a 2-run home run. I would say he'll probably try to base hit it and save the home runs for later.
You'll notice on our scoreboard as well, all of the hitters start out with a 1-1 count. And Mack, the fly ball out to left center, and the catch is made by Rick Baker, no relation to Bryson. 1 down.
Yes, sir.
That is the problem there when you try to base hit it and you miss it, you pop it up, or you'll line it out of here after they've hit the 10 home run total.
Kevin Philby, who swings a DeMarini bat out of Cardington, Ohio, will step in. Kevin owns a sports card and memorabilia business, and he drills that one to deep right and out of here. A 2-run home run for the Futures side, and the early lead here in the first.
And one of the keys of the game we discussed earlier was you got to make the play. Baker made the error. Instead of having 2 outs and only 1 run, they got 2 runs in with just 1 out.
So the home run for Philby, they are allowed 10 in the game. And after that, a home run becomes an out.
Normally on weekend play, the tournaments these guys play in, they're allowed to hit 16 home runs, but they changed the rules so internationally works out better balance-wise.
Andy Purcell, the pitcher for Team USA. Well, and the challenge for these guys is really not to hit the ball out of the park, isn't it? When there's nobody on base.
See?
Right back to Purcell. Quick reflexes, 2 down.
Purcell has probably been, well, not probably, he has been the dominant pitcher in slow pitch softball for the last. Yes.
Rowe coming right back at him, a hot shot. We'll see throughout the course of the evening, the pitchers, after they release, they are another infielder, and they will back off that pitching rubber.
Now here's a good matchup here. The pitcher and the batter are teammates on the weekend, so they know each other's little. So they're playing 3 guys wanting him to pull the ball.
Purcell pitching to Jeremy Eisenhower out of Olathe, Kansas, and Purcell frustrated that he wasn't able to pick that one up, and stretching it into a double is Eisenhower, safe at second.
If you go back and look at that defense again, you'll see that the pitcher drops into the hole.
Here is the defensive alignment brought to you by Lumber Liquidators. Bryson Baker is the extra middle infielder, right in between DiDonatis and Cannell.
There you go.
This is Brian Zirkle, and he drills one through the left side, and that should be good enough to drive in a run. The throw into second to hold Zirkle at first as Eisenhower comes in to score 3-0.
See, when this diamond was originally built, the bases were 60 feet, so they've kind of, you notice the outfielders are all playing out on the grass because they're playing with 70-foot bases now.
Play. Oh.
Zirkle with the RBI. First pitch is a ball, 2-1. Chris Larson out to right, back on the track, and off the glove over the head of Wegman. And that will get another run in as Zirkle comes all the way around to score from first.
See, there's the case of making the play or not making the play, and the inning is extended.
Get time, sir.
Yes.
That's one that Wegman wishes he had back. He goes straight back instead of turning out there defensively, and it's off his glove.
Play.
Back up the middle, a base hit for Luis Reina. They're going to try and score the run. Rick Baker's throw offline. Larson comes in, Reina to third. And we're seeing, Denny, the Futures team putting the pressure on the national team's defense.
Well, this is what we wanted to see, and there he hit the ball through the hole.
Good piece of base running, too, to know where the throw was going. Reina all the way over to third. And it's in for a strike, 1 and 2. So Frank Allen yielding with Reina down at third. And a 5-0 lead here in the top of the first for the Futures team.
See, there was pitch called illegal because it was flat and wasn't within the arc constraints.
Another shot off of Purcell's glove, the ricochet to Cannell. Now those pitches have to be between 6 feet and 10 feet on the delivery. The third out recorded, but the Futures team puts up a 5 spot on the national team as Team USA picks up the bats when we come back.
You see heroes every day.
I was a unit supply specialist.
I was a captain in the United
5 runs on 5 hits for USA Futures team. They needed just the 1 home run to score. And now the U.S. national team coming up for the first time. And once again, they've got 11 guys in that starting lineup. Cannell will bat second. Brian Wegman, Brett Helmer. That's a lethal stretch of the order there, 2, 3, and 4 in this Team USA order.
Yeah, the key will be for Dionanis here to get on base. He's a two-time National World Series MVP for Rismondo, and he's kind of the guy that gets them rolling.
The protective headgear being worn by the pitcher Travis Clark out of Kenosha, Wisconsin. We've already seen that ball comes back awfully hot, straight up the middle.
Good ball. Ball.
Dionatis out to center and back and on the track to make the catch is Brian Zirkle, one down. That time we saw the defensive alignment pushed over to the right side, and he went left center with it.
Tried to go backside and got under it a little bit. Now I would bet on Cannell here going for the base hit. He's not going to try to hit a solo.
Play.
Greg Cannell out of Moultrie, Georgia. Played baseball at Valdosta State like a lot of these guys. Former baseball players, and he rips one up the middle. Cannell going to try and stretch it into two, sliding in and safe. And a call by the umpire, Roger Garcia, with a bit of a delay. Good hustle by Zirkle to make the throw in. Let's see how close it is. Just did beat it.
Could have went either way.
Good job by Cannell to slide away from the tag. And here is Brian Wegman out of Hamilton, Ohio. Wegman got under it. Zirkle makes the catch. Cannell will stay put. 2 down. Terrific start for the Futures team here with a couple of quick outs.
I think Mr. Helmer here will swing for the home run to make sure they get him on the board here in the first inning. He's been one of the probably the premier left-handed hitter in the game the last century. Prior to him, it was a gentleman named Mike Masenko, and prior to him, it was Stan Harvey.
There is the Lumber Liquidators defense for the USA Futures team, and here is Helmer out of Cicero, New York. And off the glove of Dress, who could not hang on, and that'll score a run. Helmer will hold it first as Cannell comes in, and it's 5-1.
Back to the keys of the game. You got to catch the ball, not give them extra outs.
One, gentlemen, one.
Well, we've seen both sides now having some trouble with the hot shots. E4 charge to Dress. And here is Bryson Baker.
It'll be interesting to see what he chooses to do here. Well, that answers that question.
Baker skies it, sends it deep to left, and that is gone. Over the 350-foot sign, out into the trees, a two-run home run.
About a 375-foot shot there. And he's one of the smaller players on the squad.
And Baker makes sure that they put up a couple of more, 5-3. And here is a look at our progressive keys to the game.
Play free ball, or free air ball, I should say. I mean, that is the key for both these teams. You cannot give them extra outs because it'll hurt you in the end.
And we've already seen an error here lead to a run. The other one managed the home runs as Clark is able to snag that one right back up the middle side, retired. Helmer drives in a run, and then Bryson Baker with a two-run home run. One complete. It's 5-3 for the youngsters.
Softball out. Tremendous honor for us. For some, this may be the only time they ever get to do this, so even more special for them. But to have the opportunity to be here 4 times and haven't coached it since 2009 is just takes my breath away. And I'm retired Air Force and been coaching the military guys for a number of years. I kind of get an understanding of what it means to represent your country. But at this level, this is pretty unique and pretty special, and it never gets old.
And there is Steve Shortland in his 4th season with the U.S. national team out of Converse, Texas. 30 years he's played the sport. He is a retired U.S. Air Force. And talking about what an honor it is to have that USA jersey on. And it's certainly, if you've been paying attention to the weather out in And the Fires out in Colorado Springs. Steve, Randy Raper, the other coach for the Future side, also an Air Force guy. And all the players here certainly sending out their best wishes, their thoughts and prayers going out to the folks affected by the wildfires out there in Colorado Springs. Of course, the U.S. Olympic Committee also has a lot of personnel out in the Colorado Springs area as well. So our best wishes that things will work out okay. And a base hit laced out to left from Anthony Dress. Leadoff on board for the Futures team.
Yes, sir.
You've already noticed some different rules in slow pitch if you've been following the women's tournament for the last few months. 10 defenders, 11 can bat. The pitches have to be between 6 and 10 feet coming home from 50 feet away. They start with a 1-1 count, a foul ball with 2 strikes, and you are out. And a couple of different run rule scenarios if the score gets out of hand.
One of the reasons they went to the 1-1 count years ago, guys would foul the balls off one right after another till they got a pitch that they'd like, and it lasted forever.
There's the second home run for the Futures team, and it's a 2-run shot, 7-3 for the USA Futures. These are guys 32 and under, getting an opportunity to play against the national team in an exhibition here tonight.
Now, you may say 32, that's kind of old, isn't it? But in the game of slow pitch, if you take care of yourself, you can play at this level way into the 40s. Several of these guys out here tonight are in their early 40s.
Ages averaging from around 30 to the late 40s for the guys on the U.S. national team. And a miscue by Bryson Baker, the middle infielder. And Kevin Bazat at the top of the order has reached.
So we'll see how this plays out, where you give him an extra out.
Left fielder number 25, Bubba Mack.
Second error on the U.S. national team, and here comes the very dangerous Bubba Mack out of Milton, Florida. Goes opposite with it.
Saves the home runs.
Runners on the corners here for the Futures team.
Now this guy Philby here will swing for a home run here because it's a 3-run shot.
Okay.
Philby hit a home run in the first, a 2-run job over the right field fence, and now he'll try for the 3-run shot. Nobody out here in the top of the second inning. Look at the big shift on to the right side from that infield. And Philby keeps it on the ground. That'll drive in a run. Bubba Mack motors over to third. Runners on the corners as well, and now a chance maybe for Lee Powers to try and hit one out.
These umpires better be careful.
Third run driven in today for Kevin Philby as it goes right behind Chris McGee, the first base umpire. And you were right, Danny, that error hurts as Bazat comes in to score after he reached on the E6. And there is the long ball. Off the top of the roof out there at about, what, 325,
yeah,
330?
That'd be right. That Lee Powers' dad, Jimmy Powers, is in the Softball Hall of Fame as one of the premier power hitters in the history of slow pitch.
They have utilized their home run ball as well. You're limited to just 10. That is their third of this game, and all of them have been multiple.
That's what you got to do. You can't hit any solos. You got to hit 2, 3, and grand slams to make them count.
5 runs in the first, 6 more here in the second. Still nobody out for Jeremy Eisenhower. Doubled in his first at-bat.
Right behind, guys.
It is a 7-inning game, and Denny, kind of the rule of thumb, isn't it, is 30 is an awfully good number to try and get to in terms of runs scored.
Yes, in a game, I mean, like tonight here, we may see a 32-30 job. I doubt if we see a run rule.
Good lids.
Eisenhower gets the base hit. That'll be extra for him. He's got 2, and he might try for 3. Round in the bag, and they won't even bother to make the throw as Eisenhower is in safe.
Izzy, as everybody called him, he was played in the minors 3 years. He had the unfortunate draft to be in draft by the Phillies behind Chase Utley. So his baseball career was short-lived.
Well, like a lot of these guys, they get talked into it by buddies. They make the switch. Obviously similar athletic skills, but it's a much different swing, isn't it?
Yes. I mean,
RBI here for Brian Zirkle.
Ex-major leaguers that have come and played and struggled with it.
Talking to the guys before the game, you'll notice a bigger stride, a longer swing, a lot of legs. And unlike fast pitch, they've got to generate the power all by themselves.
Without question. I mean, almost every one of them works out year-round with the weights. And like you said, they have to provide all the power themselves because the ball's just floating up there.
Yes, sir.
Well, the Futures team is loaded up right now.
Well, talking to them today, they were pretty excited, and they weren't intimidated by these guys at all. So.
Luis Reyna drove in a run with a single in the first. Well, for a lot of these guys, we heard Steve Shortland talk about how special it is to wear that uniform. They don't get many opportunities. There's a few exhibitions they might play over the course of the summer. They are playing in their leagues essentially from April to September is the bulk of the season.
I mean, they'll play probably a 14-15 weekend schedule. They'll play as many as 10 games on a weekend. And most of these guys are on the top 5 or 6 teams in the country. And you know, it's highly competitive and it's intense on the weekend play. And they probably play 1 or 2 nights at home during the week because they play on teams that sponsor maybe out of Florida or Washington, and they got to fly them in to wherever they're playing every weekend.
A lot of these guys have regular day jobs and off-season jobs, but they can make a pretty good living playing slow-pitch softball throughout the summer.
Yes, several of them have equipment contracts. Others work for different sports associations, and like Dionis, the shortstop, the executive VP of baseball for the United States Specialty Sports Association.
Reyna looking for a 3-run home run, back to the wall and gone. 3 more for the Futures.
This will be interesting how this is playing out because they're using up their home runs here. We've got 4 now. There's only 6 left, and we're in the 2nd inning.
Well, and as we've been talking about, they have been multiple home runs. So, I mean, they want to hit them out with guys on base.
That's the key.
They are allowed the 10. They have hit 4. And Frank Allen yielding. They have hit around the order.
Right behind you.
Fly ball out to left center, and the catch is made by Baker for the first out of the inning as the 11th batter finally records an out. Quite a display so far by this Futures team.
They're playing exactly how you need to. Get a couple guys on, then hit a home run.
Anthony Dress coming up for the 2nd time in the inning, singled and scored in his first AB. And he launches one, and that will be their first solo home run as he roofs it. Now close to the 400-foot mark.
And that's number 5.
Let's go pick me up.
You hear some of his teammates say, hey, nothing wrong, that's okay. But he says, hey, pick me up. They don't like to hit those solo ones.
No, not this early.
Do what you want out here. Come on, we'll worry about when we run out of them. Let's go. Come on, we'll worry when we run out of them.
Or you hear one of his teammates say, we'll worry when we run out of them. They have reached the midway point. They've hit 5 of the 10 allotted. 16 runs for the Futures here with 1 out in the 2nd.
But, you know, people at home watching this probably think this is insurmountable lead. But, I mean, these guys play on teams that score 20, 30 runs an inning. So, I mean, you don't see any of the Team USA really panicking yet.
Yeah.
So.
When you saw two on that swing, Denny Clark swinging down on that ball, trying to make sure it doesn't get out of the yard.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
And it still almost went out.
And now he's got 2 strikes on him. So
1-2 count. A foul ball here would be an out.
Ball.
kind of a no-look pitch there by Purcell. Purcell was a college baseball pitcher for Lewis and Clark in the NAIA World Series 2 years in a row.
Travis Clark delivers, driving it through the left side. A home run and a single in the inning for Travis.
$16 runs on 16 hits. Pretty good.
This is the 14th hitter of the inning. And it's the top of the order. Bazat has reached on an error twice with the shortstop. He'll go the other way this time, and that one's gone. Home run number 6, a 2-run job.
But Zat plays for Team 454 Worth during the year. They were last year's A champions of the nation.
That was the summer-ending big tournament, kind of the World Series of slow pitch, if you will. That they build up to all year long, and driving it into the dirt, the nice chopper from Bubba Mack.
That's why he's one of the premier young players. I mean, he can hit him as far as anybody, but he knows it's no good hitting a home run at this stage of the game.
1 out.
I think these guys might have took a hint of watching that girls' college World Series here, how hard this infield is, how you can bounce the ball.
I don't think we'll see any lefty slappers, will we? Here's Brett Helmer stepping in on the left side.
This is Philby. He's got 2 hits so far, a home run and a single.
There you go.
Kevin Philby
3 balls, 2 strikes.
takes a look at a strike. Learned to play softball, watching his dad play growing up. Nice snag at second by Cannell, going for 2, and Philby legs it out, safe at first. Terrific snag by Cannell.
Two outs.
Or check that, that's the middle
Bryson
infielder,
Baker.
Bryson Baker, on the grass.
You see here they're going to play 3 guys wanting this guy to pull the ball, hoping that he hits it out of here, probably.
Lee Powers chops it on the ground, gets a base hit. A couple guys on with 2 outs. Powers had hit a home run in his last at-bat.
Well, this will be interesting to see what he does here. You hit a 3-run shot, make it 21-3.
This is Jeremy Eisenhower. He could hit for the cycle before we get out of the second inning here. He's got a double and a triple already.
He's got a lot of incentive because he played on Team USA 2 years ago when they got beat. And for one reason or another, he didn't get invited back. But here he is tonight.
Skies it. Will it be enough? It carries out to left center, back at the fence, and into the netting of the scoreboard. It is gone. The 7th home run through the first couple of innings, and it is 21-3 for the Futures.
Shorty, can I get 4?
That one just kept carrying.
I don't think he was even trying to hit it out.
Double, triple, home run for Jeremy.
If they burn up their home runs this inning,
Got 2
this
outs,
game
gentlemen.
will be real interesting.
Nope. Yep.
1 home run in the first.
Ball.
7 here
Foul ball.
in the second.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
6 home runs, excuse me, in this inning. And a 21-3 lead for the Futures team over the U.S. national side.
If they made the play, they would have got out of there about 14-3.
The U.S. Natties got some work to do. They're down a bunch.
Well, the Futures in the second, they got 16 runs on 15 hits, 1 error, and nobody left on base.
Come on, do our part here. Do our part here. Get on base.
Towering shots from the U.S. Futures. And they jump out to the big edge. 21-3, the USA Futures team leading the U.S. national team as we head to the bottom of the second.
Courtesy of mp4.
And 7 home runs hit so far by the U.S. Futures, and now Team USA with a chance to make up some space here. They were down 5-3 at the end of 1, and a big 16-run outburst in the second for the Futures.
Ah! 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Got Andy Purcell, the pitcher for Team USA, who's probably been, as I mentioned earlier, the most dominant pitcher in the game. He's a 2-time World Series MVP also.
Dress able to knock it down with the glove, but Purcell on board safely.
Excuse me, sir.
Playing with the 5 infielders, quite often they are out on the grass. The ball coming off that bat so hot.
Actually, the speed of the ball off the bat in softball, people may not believe this, is faster than baseball. They're using the softball is not really soft. It's made out of a polyurethane core, which is a solid plastic. And the speed is actually, if you get down on the field, it's pretty frightening.
Play.
Rick Baker starting out with that 1-1 count, and that is to deep center. Back to the fence goes Zirkle, gone. A 2-run home run. That's the second for the U.S. national team.
Ain't very good. I'll start giving it to you. You can get it to him.
I think he was trying to hit the left center gap here, and the ball just carried out on him.
Coming for Team USA, number 35, Johnny McCraw.
That cleared the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Went over the scoreboard out in left center. A big shot from Rick Baker, and now it's Johnny McCraw.
Play.
Out of Lake Wiley, South Carolina. Former baseball player at App State. Drives it right back to Clark. 1 down.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. We got 1 out, gentlemen.
Now, first baseman, number 22.
We'll come back here to the pitcher, able to take care of that. Ryan Thiede coming up for the first time out of Wooddale, Illinois.
Play. Illegal.
Works for the Public Works Department back home in the off-season. And he'll drill one right back up the middle. Base hit for Thiede with 1 down.
See, the middle infielder got burnt there playing his little mouse back and forth game.
That's Bazat. Went right where he wasn't.
Now, third baseman, number 9, Dennis Ruling.
Let's go back to that home run from Baker that goes over the center field scoreboard. A towering drive.
That had to be about a 415-foot shot, I'd guess.
Play.
With plenty of height. Dennis Ruley now in the 11th spot in the batting order out of Moore Park, California.
3 balls, 1 strike.
Dennis is the elder statesman of the Team USA. He's 40 in his 40s. I won't give the actual number. He's wanting to.
Didn't he beat out Derek Jeter last year in the border battle? Play of the day with a terrific snag at third base.
Yes, sir.
And that'll bring up Don DiDonatis at the top of the order.
He was drafted out of Eastern Michigan University, where he was an all-MAC performer for several years and played 3 years in the minors. And I think he still has a stolen base record in the Frontier League in his 60s.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Starting with that 1-1 count, he takes a strike, 1-2. Chops that one out to right center. Ooh. And on the run to make the catch is Eisenhower. Almost collided with Zirkle. 2 down.
2 outs, gentlemen, 2.
2 out and 2 on. We'll see if Cannell tries to get him 3 here. It's one of the problems here with these guys. They're not used to playing with each other, and they almost collided on this.
Well, a chance here to pick up 3 runs as Eisenhower comes over to make the catch.
Here we go. Check this one out.
One, and that is gone. A long
Left
way.
out in the parking lot, dead center.
That one cleared the scoreboard as well. The 3-run home run from Greg Cannell.
You might think that one there was a long shot. Last year in Petco Park, San Diego, he hit a couple balls completely out of the park.
Big blast from Cannell.
Number 3.
That one was even further than Baker's was.
Wow.
That's a shot. No lead is safe in slow pitch, is it?
No. I mean, they could get 20 runs here with 2 outs.
Now it's Brian Wegman. Flew out to center his first time up. Drills one to straightaway and off the top of the wall. That one almost got out. Wegman will be held to a long single.
Believe me, he was happy that stayed in the park.
And they didn't want to waste a home run on a solo shot.
Now, if that ball would have been tipped and went out of the park, it doesn't count as a home run.
If the center fielder got a glove on it?
Right.
You're only allowed 10. After that, they're an out. And the U.S. national team here in the red jerseys has hit 3 today. The Futures have already hit 7. This is Helmer. A rope right up the middle. They'll go for the lead runner at second and make the play. Nicely done.
Kevin Bazat on that play. Middle infielder had him played right.
Couple of home runs for Team USA, but solid defense by the Futures. Bazat to Reyna covering for the 3rd out.
Still got time.
Welcome back to the General Tire Slow Pitch Showdown. The USA Futures team leading the U.S. national team 21-8. And a reminder, the World Cup of Softball is on ESPN2 on Thursday. A couple of the superstars of the most recent World Series will be on, and there's Kalani Ricketts, the Oklahoma Sooners. She and her catcher there on the left, Jessica Schultz, both on the U.S. national team. Jackie Traina is also here from the national champion Alabama Crimson Tide, right there on the left, fixing her hair. They'll be opening up the World Cup of Softball on ESPN2 Thursday night at 7 Eastern. It's Team USA against Puerto Rico. That's also available on ESPN3 and on the Watch ESPN app. World Cup of Softball leading into the World Championships later this summer for the women. This is our slow pitch showdown. The U.S. Futures team in the white jerseys, they are a U32 team. You know, some of the future stars of the game. And the U.S. national team now in its 4th summer here, playing in Oklahoma City. We'll see the U.S. national team there in the red again on Saturday in the border battle with Canada.
This is a real big inning for both teams here. Futures don't want to hit any more home runs for a while, I would guess. And Team USA needs to shut them down. And they got a good start to the inning, getting the first guy out.
Chris Larson with the ground out. Now Luis Moreno will step in. Drove in a run with a single in the first, hit a home run in the second. The Futures team has already hit 7 of its allotted 10 home runs. And Reyna keeps it down, driving it out to left for the base hit.
Time!
Luis out of Tampa, Florida, on this U.S. Futures team.
He's one of the better young shortstops in the country coming up.
Yes, sir. There we go.
Number 8.
Deep shot from Frank Allen, yielding a 2-run home run, and the 8th one for the Futures side. No doubt about that one to straightaway center. And we just see him tattoo this one.
He tried to actually, if you notice that swing, he was swinging down, trying to base hit it up the middle, and it carries out of the park.
And we just saw the U.S. women's national team. A little bit different. The bats, these guys use are a little bit heavier, aren't they, than what we see in the College World Series?
Some of them, but in the College World Series, the power hitters like Kalani and a couple of the other girls, they're using 34, 26 ounce, which a lot of these guys are using the same bat.
One of the men's slow pitch, sometimes I'll go as high as like 27 to 30 ounces for a few of the guys.
Yep. The dominant weights are the 26 and 27. Now, years ago, it was in the 30s, mid-30s. And, you know, these composite bats have really changed the game. Here we go, 1, 2, 3.
And it's a little smaller.
Well, they did get a couple runs here.
A little smaller barrel bat than what the college baseball players were using at the World Series in Omaha. 23-8 our score here in Oklahoma City.
Final day.
Showdown, it's 23-8. The USA Futures team leading the U.S. national side. Steve Shortland, the national team head coach, now joining us. Steve, the early deficit, what's the mood like down there in the dugout right now?
Oh, the mood's fine. You know, typically games like this, we get on national television. Sometimes first couple innings are a little jumpy for us. We just got to, you know, catch our breath a little bit and take our time and just play our game. And typically about the middle of the game, we tend to forget that the cameras are on and that the crowd's here, and they just play softball. And usually, historically, that's the way it's worked for us.
Steve, I noticed you took a trip out to the mound. Were you considering changing pitchers or just trying to kill momentum a little bit?
Yeah, kind of trying to kill momentum a little bit. Sometimes, you know, when teams like that are free swinging and slow pitch, they get on a roll, and it's hard to stop them no matter what our pitchers are doing or what kind of strategies we're using. So sometimes the trip out to the mound will just break up the momentum a little bit and just kind of stall for time, get things back in our favor.
All right, well, thank you very much, Steve. We appreciate it. Steve
Absolutely,
Shortland,
you bet.
in his 4th year with the U.S. national program. Well, they did much better there in that 3rd inning, holding the Futures team to just the 2 runs after a 16-run outburst in the 2nd inning. And now Team USA will try and chip away even further at the deficit. Brian Baker,
All right, here we go. Play.
with a 2-run home run, about 375 feet in his first at-bat. Team USA has hit 3 of its 10 home run allotment.
This inning will be key for them to see how they
nice
to hit
snag
the middle.
by Clark.
Good play.
1 down. He's been very solid defensively for the Futures. Former basketball and baseball player at UW Parkside up in Wisconsin.
Play.
Oh, it's Brian Rainwater.
Whoa.
Chops it through the wickets of Powers at first.
I don't even know if he's seen the ball. You know, that right now this is a tough sun field for the infielders. If you notice, even the outfielders on the right, center field and right, are having trouble. Looks like picking the ball up.
Got 1 out.
I think that was more protection from Powers than defense. There you see he's squinting into the sun a little bit.
Yes, sir.
It's the pitcher, Andy Purcell. The home plate umpire wearing the microphone. Tim Watts, Chris McGee, Roger Garcia, Tom Barucki, Ben Clements in blue. They might get 2 here. The throw over to first, and they got him. Outstanding defense from this Futures infield. quick work, a rainwater base hit, and that is it. They only faced 4 guys in the bottom half of the third, and a bagel on the scoreboard from the national team in that half of the inning.
So you actually reward people for staying with you?
Yep, the longer you stay with us, the more you save. And when you switch from another company to us, we even reward you for the time you spent there.
Genius.
Yeah, genius.
You guys must have your own loyalty program, right?
Well, we have something. Sure, Tom.
And welcome back to Oklahoma City. The leadoff base hit. And Kevin Bizot, the top of the order. The USA Futures team in white, guys that are 32 and under, taking on the U.S. national team, and a big lead for the youngsters here, 23-8, as we head to the bottom of the fourth, or top of the fourth. Nice grab by DeDonatis. It's short, 1 down.
There you see one of the reasons he's won numerous Gold Glove awards over the years.
Now batting number 30, Kevin Building.
Terrific snag here by DeDonatis. Whoa, had him leaning to the left. He came back to the right.
Got it.
Play.
Number 9.
That is launched over the fence out and left. And a deep shot, a 2-run home run for Kevin Philby. That is his second of the ball game. And they have 1 home run remaining. After that, any ball that leaves the yard would be an out.
I think Coach Shortland's thinking right now he's got him where he wants him, even though he's down 17 runs.
Guys, that's 9. 9.
You'll see these guys start changing their swings now.
You buy one like McQuaid's?
Ron, you just heard the umpire reminding the Futures team, that's 9. You've got 9. Well, now for the Futures team.
Illegal!
Well, an illegal pitch called on Purcell. Not enough height to it. As Powers drives it through the left side, they are just 3 runs away here from a 20-run lead, which puts them into run rule territory. Right. Can you imagine that against the U.S. national team?
We'll see how these old-timers handle the pressure if they're down 20.
Yes, sir. 1 out.
If it's a 20-run lead after 4, the U.S. team, the home team, they would get another at-bat. But they are flirting with
play.
The big advantage right back up the middle from Jeremy Eisenhower. And there it is for Jeremy. He has hit for the cycle today. A double, a triple, a home run, and now a single.
I think he scared his teammate there. They play together on weekends, him and Mr. Purcell for Resmondo's. And it took his legs out from under him.
Why?
Hitting for the cycle in 4 innings, in 4 at-bats for Jeremy. And a memorable night for him here in Oklahoma City.
He was pretty keyed up today.
3 balls, 1 strike.
Well, what do? Do you use your 10th home run here to give yourself a 20-run lead?
I would. I'd take my chances.
Brian Zirkle, couple of RBI singles, and lifts that one out to left, and that is gone off the rooftop over the right field fence for the 3-run home run, and there is your 20-run lead. And there's a couple of home run balls past the 400 marker out there on the rooftop.
An amazing thing is these guys aren't even able to free swing here where you could really see how far they could hit them.
Now batting catcher number 22, Chris Larson.
So
it's like they're even moving the buses out in center field now, worrying about getting the windows busted out.
The bus drivers are scattering the buses, getting them out of the way. And now they want to keep everything in the field. Any home run is considered an out.
There you can see the change.
Hey, do not stop going hard. Let's go.
Players reminding each other now, do not stop going hard here. They have a 20-run lead, which forces the national team to have to score a run in the bottom of the 4th, or it's over. And now just a question of how many runs they can pad that advantage with.
Exactly. If they get 3 or 4 more here, they can make it interesting.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Reyna takes a strike. Luis a home run, a couple of singles. Reyna the hot shot to third. Rulli makes the play. Side retired, so they cannot extend the lead, but they have hit the run rule mark. A 28-8 advantage, so the U.S. national team has to score at least 1 to extend the game when we come back.
For the futures in the fourth, they pick up 5 runs on 5 hits, no errors, and no stress on that.
USA does not score here, the game is over. So now is this a situation where a solo home run for the U.S. national team isn't necessarily a bad idea for Rick Baker?
It'll be interesting to see how they approach this. These 2 teams actually played the other night, and Team USA won 17-11. So it's, and they played in actually in a minor league on a baseball field, so it did make a difference. But this will be interesting to see how they handle this.
Yes, sir.
Rick Baker hit a 2-run home run back in the 2nd inning. The U.S. national team has hit just 3 of its 10 home run allotment.
I would think they'll try to get a couple 2- and 3-run home runs and even possibly exhaust their home run total this inning if they can get back in it. And figuring with their experience in the game that they could beat them in a game of singles the rest of the way.
Yeah, that would change everything if it turns into a singles game. If they can put the pressure on. This is Johnny McCraw, grounded back to the pitcher in his first at-bat. Bottom of the order here, coming around for just the 2nd time. Grab by Yielding the play to second in time for the lead runner. And the Futures team is 2 outs away from the win.
I would think they could tell this guy to hit the ball out of the park.
Heck of a grab there on the grass.
The pinch hitter here.
Yes, sir.
Ryan Thiede.
Thiede singled and scored back in the 2nd. Let's see if you hear guys saying, hit it out of here.
Yeah.
Thank you. Play.
Whoa.
Down to first. Powers steps on the bag, and they've got the man in the rundown. The slide back and in safe. At first is Rick Baker, and that could have been the game right there. 2 down.
That was a pretty heads-up base running job on McGraw. I wonder how many players would actually thought to do that.
Got 2 outs, gentlemen. 2.
Once they step on the bag, he's no longer the force, so he turns around and heads back for first.
Now batting third baseman number 9, Dennis Rulli.
So now Rulli trying to keep this rally alive. 3 runs in the first, 5 in the 2nd. They did not score a run in the 3rd. And now the national team down to its final out in a run rule situation here in the 4th. And it's up to Rulli, the veteran of this veteran team. Dennis walked his last time up. Sends one out to center, and that should get them back in business. A 2-run home run for Rulli. Takes the run rule off the table here in the bottom of the 4th.
At least for another inning.
Well, we've talked a little bit. There's a lot of pride at stake here, and you know these national team guys do not want to get run out.
It's bad enough getting beat, but to get run rule, pretty embarrassing. Here's a pinch hitter, Dal Beggs.
Out of Gainesville, Florida.
Oh, Dally, let's go, Dally!
Nice hit there by Rulli to keep him alive. Their 4th home run. So if they can put together a couple of singles, hit a home run, couple of singles, hit a home run, they'll be back in business. Bryson Baker, Rick Baker, Greg Cannell, and now Dennis Ruley with the long balls for the national team as Beggs lines one out to center, and coming on to make the grab is Brian Zirkle. And now they're ruling that it hit the turf first.
The umpire down in the right field line made the call. Great play.
National team disagrees, and now they will finally relent. And a heck of a catch by Zirkle in center. Let's see if he got it. Off the bat of Beggs.
I think this is time for the Lumber Liquidators launch. The rules of the game are
looks like he was able to backhand that and make the play.
From Houston, Texas. We have James with us tonight from Houston. We'll get 5 chances.
From Gold. This presentation of the 2012 General Tire Slow Pitch Showdown is brought to you by Kingsford Charcoal, Slow Down and Grill. By Progressive. Visit progressive.com today. And by Lumber Liquidators, hardwood floors for less.
Now, welcome back to the General Tire Slow Pitch Showdown as we head to the top of the 5th. The USA Futures team, 28 runs on 27 hits, up by 18. They have already used their 10 home run allotment. So any home runs would be outs. They'll try and pad the lead here with some singles and extra base hits.
Looks like Team USA's got 3 defensive changes here. Baggs is in to play shortstop, Folk is catching, and Gino Buck is now playing first base.
There's a gapper out in right center, and the ricochet off the fence will be extra. 3, possibly more. Yielding, gonna try and score the inside the Parker, and he's got it.
If you look how these players are reacting, it looks like the Futures team is a little bit more into this than Team USA. And I remember one of the pregame interviews, one of the Futures said that they didn't think Team USA was taking them very seriously.
Let's see Yielding. He's looking for the sign from the third base coach. And Raper sends him in.
I think he didn't know what the rule, or if he was afraid that he'd go for it if that counted.
Does that count as a home run and therefore an out?
Right.
That one is okay since it stayed in the yard as Anthony Dress has his 3rd hit of the game. The run rule, by the way, comes back into effect here in the 5th inning because the run rule is 15 runs after 5, and they are already up to 19. So Team USA will have a lot of work to do in the bottom of the 5th. Another base hit from Travis Clark. 29 hits here in the ballgame tonight for the Futures.
That's a pretty good statistics, figuring that 10 of them were home runs. They've got 19 hits keeping the ball in the park, which is more hits than Team USA has altogether.
Yeah, they have as many home runs as Team USA has hits, as Kevin Bazat comes up for the 5th time in that leadoff spot. That's a fair ball off the glove of Buck, and another run will score. Runners on the corners here for the Futures.
Another case where you don't make the play.
Nick Robertson will come on to bat here for Bubba Mack. In that 2 spot. And out to left, the catch made by Rainwater. Sacrifice fly will drive in another. They keep padding this lead. That's more runs that the U.S. national team will have to score.
Got one, gentleman.
What's it up to now? They'll have to score at least 7 in the bottom half of the inning to stay alive. If you're up 15 after 5 innings, it's over.
Play.
Top Tommy Melton now the pinch hitter out of Montclair, California. Active duty staff sergeant with the United States Air Force.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Following in the footsteps of the two coaches, Steve Shortland and Randy Raper, who are both U.S. military guys, Air Force men. The throw over to first, and the tag made by Buck to get the base runner, Melton.
2 outs, gentlemen.
To record the out.
Company first baseman number 2, Lee Powell.
Play.
Another hit.
Base hit up the middle by Lee Powers, and that'll drive in another run. Zach coming in to score. Boy, a rough evening for the U.S. national team. That look from Steve Shortland pretty much sums it up right there.
It spells it all.
The future looking bright. Jeremy Eisenhower for the Futures team has hit for the cycle already tonight.
That's an out.
He gets his first out because they have already hit their home run allotment of 10 for the night.
So they need 8 runs to keep it going.
U.S. national team gonna have to dig deep when we return to the bottom of the 5th, down big, and the run rule in effect. Here is our game summary brought to you by General Tire. How about that for the USA Futures team? 32 runs on 32 hits. They used up their 10 home run allotment, and now they have Team USA on the ropes. The U.S. national side has to score 8 runs to keep this game rolling. Jeremy Eisenhower, one of the big stars, even though he just hit a home run, which ended up being an out because they were over their allotment, has hit for the cycle tonight. Double, triple, home run, and a single.
I would have to say he'd be the offensive MVP so far for the Futures team.
That's the right score.
Well, even though they had the home run slash out, they really did a nice job tonight, didn't they, Denny, of using their home run allotment. They were all multiple home runs, I believe, except for one.
And that was one of the keys to the game, we said before, and they've done both facets. They've utilized their home runs, and they've caught the ball, where the national team has struggled defensively so far.
And at the plate, the U.S. national team, 3 in the first, 5 in the second, but were scoreless in the third and just 2 runs in the fourth, as Cannell, who they would love to have hitting home runs, is the leadoff here and has to keep it in the park.
He is the 2011 male amateur softball athlete of the year.
He's got his 3rd hit, a single, a double, and a home run, and now Brian Wegman fly out to center and a single tonight.
Play. Illegal.
Illegal on that delivery from Travis Clark, a little high.
Ball. 3 balls, 1 strike. Ball.
And the walk.
That's a no-no in the game of slow pitch. You can't give them walks. Walk is just like a hit.
Left catch.
Number 15, B.J. Falk.
B.J. Falk trying to keep it going. They need 7 runs here to extend this game. Got to get within 15.
B.J.'s another former national MVP with Rismondo sports team. I would guess he may try to yank it out of
3
here.
balls, 1 strike.
Clark's having some issues here trying to find the strike zone, and he does indeed launch one out of here.
Over the
3-run home
mark.
run. A souvenir for the fan out there.
They still have to get 5.
Keep going there, keep going.
Yes, that's correct.
No, they have to get to 18 to keep the game
let's
going.
go. I like the start, though. Real good start.
Or no.
Yeah. Middle infielder number 4, Bryson Baker.
Let's go, man.
Right.
Base hit through the right side for Bryson Baker.
Time!
Now batting left fielder number 11, Brian Rainwater.
Clark out there talking with his middle infielder right now.
This is an old-time trick where they try to break the momentum. You know, they've got a little run going here, so they're going to slow it down.
Go, Rainey. Go, Rainey. Throw it out there, kid.
Play.
Rainwater looking for a gapper, and he sends it out. 2-run home run. That's the 6th home run for Team USA.
Catch.
That's another one where he just tried to hit a gap shot and it sailed out of here.
5th run of the inning. And they need to get 3 more.
That number 6.
Now batting pitcher number 19, Andy Purcell.
Yes, sir.
Purcell missed a good part of the season this year where he took a line drive off his pinky finger and broke his finger and had to put pins in it, and he just started playing again here a couple weeks ago.
Ball. Just a little bit short. 3 balls, 1 strike.
3-1. Clark getting deep into the counts here. And the 2nd walk of the inning.
They'll kill you, just like baseball. Got to throw strikes.
Now batting center fielder number 26, Rick Baker.
I'm going to bring up Rick Baker. 2-run home run in the 2nd. Singled and scored in the 4th for Rick.
Yes, sir. Play.
Drills it right back up the middle.
Now this will be interesting to see if McGraw goes for a home run here, because then that gets him to 18, keeps the game going.
McCraw with a couple of infield groundouts thus far tonight.
Now batting for the USA number 35, Johnny McCraw.
Play. Ball.
And he does. Drive it deep and gone off the rooftop. And that extends the game for the U.S. national team. 3-run home run, that's number 7. And they still have 3 left.
Each ball hit over the fence by any of the 10 players swinging a combat bat will result in a $200 donation by combat to the Oklahoma City Police Athletic League.
Like he's trying to take out one of the air conditioning units on that building.
Look at it, with a puff of smoke, quite literally here. Johnny McCraw. So the run rule is off the table, but still obviously Team USA, a 14-run deficit, but nobody out. The bats have come alive here in the 5th after they were quiet through much of this night.
Ah! 2 balls, 2 strikes.
The gap shot.
That could be extras for Geno Buck.
I mean, the national teams, they can run off 15, 16 runs here in a row and go out ahead in the inning. I mean, don't be surprised.
Well, we saw the Futures put up 16 runs in the 2nd inning tonight.
Yep.
Dennis Ruley.
Play. Ball. Ah! That's time. 2 balls. 2 strikes. Yep. Play.
Ruley skies it. Back to make the catch. Bizot. 1 down.
Time! 1, gentlemen.
A couple of big plays tonight by Johnny McCraw. The 3-run home run here to keep Team USA alive, but also his base running play back in the 4th inning in what looked like a sure double play to end the game for the Futures team.
I would guess he would be one of the few guys out here that made that play. Otherwise, the game would have been over.
Dalbeg's going to drive in a run with the double.
We got 1 out, gentlemen. 1.
1 down. They have hit around the 11-man batting order. So now Greg Cannell coming up with a runner on single to start out the inning.
I think he'll still go for a base hit here. He won't try to hit it out. If he hits it out, I would guess it'd be a mistake.
Play.
He started the inning. They needed 8 runs. They've gotten 9, and he drills it into the dirt. Base hit opposite.
That's why he's hit around 790, 800 in the last couple of years, right there.
Got time. Got time.
It's a summer that lasts from April to September for these teams. They'll play 2 or 3 weekends a month on the road around the country.
Trust me, I'm watching that. No, not quite that.
They'll play as many as 10 games a weekend if they get beat early and go in the loser's bracket and got to come back.
Here's the play by McCraw, who saw that the force out was made at first, so that meant he did not need to advance. He could turn around and dive in safe. That would have been the 3rd out to end the game.
If they come back and win this game, that is definitely the play of the game.
And right now, Travis Clark trying a little bit of everything to shake the rhythm of this U.S. national team. Their bats coming alive here in the 5th.
Play.
Brian Wegman with a couple on. He keeps it on the ground to drive in a run. Scoring while not necessarily needing the long ball here.
And they've still got 3 left.
3 left.
Good job. Good job, boys. Come on, BJ. Come on, BJ.
The USA for 15, BJ Folk.
BJ Folk would have the option here with a couple of guys on to go deep.
Play. Ball. Thank you.
Drills it through the left side. Another RBI single.
It just shows you how good some of these guys are. You look at somebody like him that's 285 pounds, used to just hitting home runs, and hit the ball backside and get a base hit when it's necessary.
11 runs across in the inning.
Guys, give me 1 on deck, please. 1 on deck.
This is the 15th batter to come to the plate here in the 5th.
Still only 1 out.
Baker a home run and a single today. Out to right center and gone. A 3-run home run.
That's another one he was trying to keep in the park, but sailed on him.
2 home runs left for the national team. 14 runs in the inning, and now they are down just 8.
Yes, that's correct. That's 8.
Sends that one over. Brian Rainwater, a single and a home run for Brian as well. The Futures team has used its home run allotment. The U.S. national team has 2 left.
We've got another little strategy meeting here to kind of slow the momentum down.
"15 have come to the plate. Just the 1 out recorded. 4 guys have already scored twice in the inning for the U.S. national team." A reminder that Euro 2012 continues Thursday on ESPN as Germany takes on Italy in the second semifinal. Germany-Italy Thursday at 2:30 on ESPN, ESPN3, and the Watch ESPN app. The winner of that one will take on Spain in the final. Spain eliminating Portugal on penalty kicks earlier today. Brian Rainwater.
Another walk. That's a 3rd walk in the inning.
Not what Clark wants to do. Free passes here. And now his pitching counterpart, Andy Purcell.
Pitcher number 19, Andy Purcell.
It's in for a strike, 1 and 2. Now a foul ball would be an out. That one will most certainly stay fair. We'll try and stretch it into a double. Runners on 2nd and 3rd with 1 out.
I think we got us a ball game here.
It was 32-10 at the start of the bottom of the 5th inning. And the U.S. national team has closed the gap considerably. Zirkle with the nice throw in, but too much speed from Purcell. That'll bring up Rick Baker, a home run, a couple of singles. He scored 3 times. He singled and scored earlier in the inning. Off of Clark. And on the ricochet, there'll be a play at the plate. Safe sliding in is Rainwater.
Thanks, sir.
Now you see why the pitcher's wearing a mask. That ball was 3 feet higher and been right in his face.
15 runs in the inning here for the U.S. national team as Travis Clark tries to shake it off.
That was a hard hit ball.
Yeah. No. Oh, no.
And I don't know if the Futures team has another pitcher, although I'm sure one of these guys has pitched sometime during their career.
She whistling at you. No, she gotta be whistling at you. You're a little taller than I am.
Home plate umpire Tim Watts talking with Johnny McCraw, who's had a couple of huge plays already tonight. His 3-run home run earlier in this inning took the run rule off the table.
Ready, batter. Play. Ball.
2-1. McCraw jacks one center field and gone. 3-run home run. That is number 9 for Team USA. And remarkably, they are within 4 with an 18-run 5th inning and still 2 outs to work with. That is his second 3-run home run of the 5th.
If you looked at the swing, he was just trying to hit that right center gap, and it carried out of the park.
We got one out, gentlemen.
And with some of the best home run power in the world, Denny, this could turn into a singles slugfest the rest of the way.
No question about it. We are going to have a little Punch and Judy game.
Futures have no home runs left. Nationals have one. And the shot corralled by Powers at first. 2 down.
Come on, catch your grasping. You're grasping.
On the 20th at-bat of the inning, they get their second out. And that brings up Dennis Ruley, who had the first out in his first at-bat of the inning, a fly ball out to center. And he delivers down the line. Extra bases for Dennis and the stand-up double.
Kind of set him up on that swing. I thought he was going the other way and jerked it back in the left field corner.
We got 2 outs, gentlemen, 2.
Now batting number 99, Delbeg.
Delbeg's top of the order. Drove in a run with a double in his first at-bat of this inning. Skies that one out to left. Robertson back to the wall, and that's gone.
And that's the end of them. Now our singles game gets started.
10th home run, none left for either team. Any ball that leaves the yard would be an out the rest of the way. So Beggs a 2-run home run. It is a 2-run game. And Greg Cannell is coming up for the 3rd time in the inning. A couple of singles and a couple of runs scored for Greg.
Looks like they might make a pitching change here, maybe.
I'm going to guess that earned run average is not a statistic bandied about very often in the slow pitch world, Denny.
No, we said before we might have a 32-30 game, but we thought that'd be at the end of the game. We're only in the bottom of the 5th.
Scheduled for 7, and neither team can hit any more home runs. They would just be outs.
It'll be interesting to keep track how many outs there are here in the last 2.5 innings.
Futures already has an out on a home run ball.
Foul ball.
Will drift foul, and that's good for the national team. That would have been the 3rd out of the inning. Reaches for it and rips it into the gap. Cannell to second.
I think that's his 5th hit.
Yes, it is. 5 for 5. 3 hits this inning.
Right fielder number 12, Brian Wegman.
And in a slow pitch anomaly, Brian Wegman cannot tie it up with one swing of the bat. Unless he stays inside the park for a home run. We have seen one of those tonight.
You'll see all the swing changes now. You'll see stuff that we haven't seen the whole game.
A couple of hits, a walk, a couple of runs scored for Wegman. 20 runs scored here in the bottom of the 5th.
So those 3 walks really opened the floodgates for Team USA. There's an out.
Wegman hits one out of the yard, and that will be the 3rd out.
415-foot out. Doesn't seem fair.
Up on the rooftop from Wegman. So each team now has recorded an out with a home run ball. And we've got ourselves a ball game after it looked like it was going to end early. The national team scores 20 to get back in it. As the sun dips down behind the ASA Hall of Fame Stadium here in Oklahoma City, 32-30. The USA Futures team leading the U.S. national team after the Nationals scored 20 runs on 18 hits in the bottom of the 5th inning. Both sides have run out of home runs.
Play.
Any more home runs would be outs. Twice, the U.S. national team in the red jerseys have staved off run rule elimination to get back in this game.
Nice play by Bryson Baker, the middle infielder.
Now batting catcher number 22, Chris Larson.
We had reports that the pitcher for the Futures team hobbled on that ground ball. He took off his shin. Hope the same thing didn't happen to him that happened to Andy Pettit earlier today with a broken leg.
Yeah.
Play.
Bad news for Yankee fans.
Here's one of those swings I was talking about.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Larson driven in a couple of runs tonight with a single and a double.
Playing the 3-man shift to the right side, making him try to pull something that he doesn't normally like to do. These guys play each other so much on the weekends. They know each other's tendencies when they get into situations like this.
Right back to Purcell, able to knock it down and make the play. 2 outs.
He knows he had his back to me, correct? Yes. Okay,
well, certainly a rejuvenated national team, and the Futures, been a while since they've been at the plate.
You know, when both these teams expire their home run limit, the pitcher's like a sitting duck, because everybody that hole back up the middle is where most of these guys try to shoot it.
Now they'll shift over to the left side with that middle infielder, which they're all actually short outfielders on the grass.
And he beat it.
Well, Luis Reyna with his 4th hit of the game, including a home run ball.
We've had 60 hits combined here so far.
Yielding with a couple of home runs, including an inside the Parker.
Play.
Hit it off the fence out in right center. It took a funny ricochet away from the outfielder, and Frank was able to come in to score. That will be foul into the bullpen out in right.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Out of Birmingham, Alabama, former pitcher at Samford in his baseball days.
Play.
Straightaway center. And back to the fence. Reyna with some wheels will come around to score from first.
Boy, he can scoop.
Terrific speed from Luis, who scores for the 3rd time.
Second baseman number 9, Anthony Dress.
Now Anthony Dress. A couple of singles and a home run tonight.
Play.
Drills it through the left side. Runner will hold, so runners at the corners with 2 down. Good 2-out rally here by the Futures team.
I think there with 2 outs, I got to let him try to score on that.
Now batting pitcher, number 5, Travis Clark.
He's still walking gingerly on that leg.
Clark, the pitcher, who got hit with a shot coming right back up the middle at him.
One ball, 2 strikes.
A lot of times these guys will do that, try to punch it to right, they punch it foul, then they'll come back and hit to the left side, try to move the infielders one way or the other.
And he was definitely affected by that hit, that the comebacker.
There we go.
See, the pitching distance used to be 46 feet in this game. They moved it back to 50 feet to hopefully protect him a little bit.
Here's the RBI for Clark. Limps down to first.
Time.
He's definitely hurt.
What's that? Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
That injury.
Yes, that's correct.
I think they might allow the Futures
Yeah.
here to lift Clark for a pinch runner to let him come back in to pitch.
He's definitely in pain.
Yeah, somebody that came out of the game. Back.
We're just checking to see. It has to be somebody
Yeah, we're fine.
Injury rule because we only got 2 trucks, all right?
that has already come out of the game.
All right, so one's going to go back in.
Bubba Mack.
Yeah, right. I know, but he's going in for
Bubba Mack is going to run for him.
Where's 5 at? He's down here.
The pitcher, yes, sir.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
There's Bubba Mack coming back in.
I've always wondered why you notice Major League Baseball players and now these softball guys, and even high school, watching high school games, why these guys wear the sunglasses on top of their hat. I mean, if they're out in the field, there's no way you can jerk them glasses off. It's all style. I think if I was coaching a team, they'd throw all them sunglasses in the waste paper basket.
So Mack at first.
Ready? Play.
Was out in the top of the order here. Reached on a couple errors, hit a home run, and a couple of singles. And there's a gapper that'll drive in one. Mack will try and wheel around to score from first. And the throw to third, not in time to get Bazat with the triple. Driving in a couple more.
Two outs.
They needed an answer after the big inning that the national team had, and they're doing a pretty good job here with just base hits.
Play. Ball.
Nick Robertson.
3 balls, 1 strike. Yeah. Play.
He called the pitch flat.
Illegal.
There's another one he called illegal.
Has to be between an arc of 6 and 10 feet.
Number 8, Tommy Melton.
Here comes Tommy Melton.
Play. Ah! 1 ball, 2 strikes. Illegal.
Umpire called it illegal, but he still hit it, and it's in play.
Well, driving a run. This rally all coming on 2 outs, 5 runs now in the top of the 6th.
Now batting first baseman number 2, Lee Powell.
Here comes Lee Powers. Lee has one of their 10 home runs tonight. Nice snag by Purcell, 3rd out of the inning. 37-30. Futures get a few back. They're up 7 to the bottom of the 6th. USA Futures team leading Team USA, the national side, 37-30 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Reminder that coverage of the second round of the championships at Wimbledon continuing Thursday on ESPN2. Second round of the championships at Wimbledon Thursday at 7 a.m. on ESPN2, ESPN3, and the Watch ESPN app. Afternoon sessions presented by Rolex.
Right, he's in right now. He's back in, and he's in for the rest of the time.
Travis Clark re-enters to pitch.
If he comes up to bat, he's got to run. There ain't going to be another substitution. Correct. Junior, if he needs to run.
Yeah, you get it.
No.
Can we do that? We got a white jersey.
They're making sure they've got everything set on the pitcher, Travis Clark, if he continues to play with the leg injury, and whether or not he would have to hit again and run again.
Yeah, with the rule, he'd have to stay in the game. If they remove him, then he can't come back in and pitch. And as I mentioned earlier, I think he's the only pitcher they got.
He was injured with a hit right back up the middle earlier in the ball game, and now B.J. Folk.
3 balls, 1 strike.
20-run 5th inning. And Folk draws the walk. They'll try and continue the momentum. They were down at one point, 32-10 to start out the bottom of the 5th.
Play.
And then the rally started.
Come on, find it. Yes, sir. Ah! 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Baker delivers with the base hit. 4th of the day for Bryson, including a couple of home runs.
Left fielder number 11, Brian Rainwater.
They got to get 5 or 6 or even 7 runs this inning. I think they really make it real interesting.
Play.
Well, again, neither side can use a home run. They have both reached their allotment of 10 for the game. So if they hit it out of the park, it's an out. Drills it right back to Bazat, who makes the catch, the short fielder.
Played him right where he needed to play him.
1 out, gentlemen.
If the Futures gets out of this inning up by 5, I would say they got a pretty safe cushion, especially if they can come in and get 2 or 3 more.
Each side has had the one big inning tonight. And now Andy Purcell, the pitcher, with 1 down and a couple on board.
Play. Ball.
That Bazat playing that middle has done a real good job tonight of moving around, guessing.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
Well, part of the strategy is to take those holes away or disguise where they are. Bazat, that middle infielder behind second base, he's dancing all around on this Purcell at-bat. Doesn't want to give up where he's going to be defensively. And Purcell goes away from him for the base hit.
Time!
The key to this whole, to the 5-man infield is the pitcher, if they're playing 3 guys between short or second and third, is to keep the ball on the inside to try to make the hitter pull the ball.
Number 26, Rick Baker.
Now it's Rick Baker. And Bazat will trot back almost straight away behind second base.
You can see the pitcher in the middle infielder discussing how he's going to try to throw the ball so he can try to guess where he's going to go with it.
Good grab by Yielding, and the force out at second for the second out as a run scores.
Got 2 outs, gentlemen.
Well, the Futures team has made some outstanding defensive plays in this game, especially in the infield.
Number 35, Johnny McCraw.
So now Johnny McCraw stepping in. A couple of 3-run home runs in the 5th inning.
Play.
Looking for the gap, and he will get it. That'll drive in at least one. They'll try and score the 2nd run. The throw to the plate, not in time. Diving in safely is Rick Baker.
The defense, the way they were set up that time, the gap right off the pitcher's bare hand side was wide open, and that's exactly where he hit it.
Two-run double there for McCraw. Now Gino Buck. They've sliced the deficit to 4.
Gino's tried to go to the right side twice, one successful and one which Powers made a nice catch on a line drive.
Illegal.
Deep drive to left, and that is out of the ballpark for the 3rd out of the inning.
And the umpire called illegal on that. He didn't even have to swing. Would have given him a 3-1 account.
So Buck hits one out, but they can't use it. 37-33 Futures.
When 8-time off.
And welcome back to Oklahoma City, the General Tire Slow Pitch Showdown, and it has been a shootout so far. 68 hits combined by the two teams, and they have scored 70 runs as we go to the last inning. With the Futures at the plate, and they are up 4. Beth Mowins along with softball Hall of Famer Denny Helmig.
I would say they still need a couple more here before they really feel comfortable, I would guess.
Futures put up 16 in the 2nd inning. The national team responded with 20 in the 5th.
But if you look at the bottom of the 3rd, when the national team didn't score a run, that's what may end up haunting them.
Fly ball out to deep left, and if that one leaves the yard, it does not. It stays in. And the triple for Jeremy Eisenhower. That's his 2nd triple of the night. He's already hit for the cycle.
High as he hit that, that ball's got to be caught. I think he got tangled up there where he was at on the warning track.
Play.
Only play is to first to get the out. The run scores. It's a 5-run lead for the Futures.
Now batting number 22, Chris Larson.
Chris Larson. A couple of RBIs.
Play.
Also has 3 infield groundouts. And that's drilled out to Rainwater and right at him for the out. 2 down.
You know, regardless of the outcome of this game, I think you can see there, the viewers can see that the game of slow pitch is in good hands with this young crop of players.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you have done a terrific job. Luis Serena now stepping in. 4 for 5.
To see him hit a gap shot here to watch him run again.
And it's snagged by Buck over at first. The Futures held to 1 run, and the U.S. national team can win it in the bottom of the 7th if they can post a 6th spot.
They get about 8 or 9 singles in a row.
Bottom of the 7th coming up in our Slow Pitch Showdown. We will be on ESPN and ESPN2 throughout the weekend, and things will open up with the United States taking on Puerto Rico Thursday night on ESPN2. Be playing Friday night, a couple of games Saturday. We'll be back here for the border battle, Slow Pitch on Saturday afternoon. And the World Cup of softball for the women will conclude with the championship game next Monday. So here we go for the national team. They were down 32-10 at one point, and now can win it here in the bottom of the 7th. They cannot use a home run, though.
They got to get hit about 9 or 10 base hits here in a row to pull this out.
Dennis Rulli at the bottom of the order starts things off with the single.
The first out will be the toughest one to get for him.
For the Futures team.
I wonder if the Canadian squad is scouting this game here tonight, how they're moving their defensive players around.
With Del Beggs coming up, they shifted the middle infielder over to the left side, and now they are starting to rearrange once again. And that is the pitcher, Travis Clark, all the way out behind second base. Again, a little bit of communication defensively, but also a little bit of shaking up the rhythm and the routine of the U.S. national hitters.
Lulu, don't give it up. Play.
Straightaway center, and that will be out of the park, and that is the out. So a little bit of defensive shenanigans may have gotten into the head of Beggs a little bit.
See, you're better off not to try to hit the middle, because if you hit the middle and you get the wrong spin on it, it spins right out of the park. You're better off to try to hit it backside or hook it down the left field line.
So here we go, the guy that we've talked about as being the best in the world right now. 5 for 5, a couple of singles, a couple of doubles, a home run for Greg Connell. Straightaway center once again, and that one leaves the yard. Second out. Beggs and Connell unable to keep the ball down.
Outs, gentlemen. I think he's going to piss.
Oh, a couple of unforced errors there, and now it's up to Brian Wegman, the last chance. His last at-bat was a home run out. He's also got a couple of hits and a couple of runs scored tonight.
Right. Play. Ball.
Right back up the middle off of Clark, and everybody's safe. Travis Clark sprawled out. He's already wearing the headgear. He's already been knocked around. Injured his leg earlier in the game. Just toughing it out right now.
But if they win this game, he'll tell you it was all worth it. This Bazat, this number 14, this middle infielder, has orchestrated this defense all night long. Moving around, and he's moving the infielder, the other infielders beside him. He's telling them how he's breaking.
And that is right in the line of sight, within the vision of the hitters in the batter's box. Looking right back up the middle at Bazat dancing all around.
Play. Oh, back.
B.J. Folk. Right back up the middle. That will load up the bases here for the U.S. national team.
Get one more hit, and they get the tying run to the plate. Might end up with the extra inning overtime work tonight. Since we've already been here about 2 hours and 10 minutes.
That would be a situation where you would love to have one of those home runs back. They don't have one to use. Bryson Baker's hit a couple out, has singled a couple of times. 3 hits in the inning and 2 home run ball outs.
Ball.
For the U.S. national team, trying to mount the huge comeback. And that's a rope up the middle. That will score a pair. They'll go for the runner at third and sliding in safe.
Boy, BJ got that 285 pounds moving.
Boy, that was lucky there for the national team because his run really doesn't count. Hate to be that third out at third base.
Yeah, he was safe. Tying run at the plate.
Be gladly give you a uniform and a hat. Come
Brian
on
Rainwater.
Right? Play. Ball.
He's got the hit off of Yielding's glove. Folk will score the 3rd run of the inning.
Time. He doesn't even hear him.
The one little slip here and the ball sails out of the park and the game is over.
So Andy Purcell has the tying run on base with runners on first and second here.
Boy, that run that Future scored the last inning is really huge right now.
They got just the 1 in the top of the 7th. Will that be enough? Purcell is 4 for 5 tonight.
Ball. Away. Ah!
2-2.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Now it's 1 foul ball from ending it. Purcell drills it right back up the middle. Bases loaded. And now the tying run in scoring position.
And look who's on deck. Johnny McGraw.
Six singles in the inning. Baker up with McCraw on deck. And a single could tie it up here for Baker.
You got Rainwater on second base who runs pretty good. I would guess you would have to try to score him here on a hit.
Yes, sir. Ready for a verbal.
2-run home run and 3 singles tonight for Baker. And there's a hit up the middle. 1 run will score. They're going to try and score Rainwater. The throw to the plate, and they got him to end the ball game and win by a run. The Futures throwing out the tying run at the plate, and they win it 38-37.
Little fundamental mistake there at the plate. The on-deck hitter should have been facing the runner, letting him know whether to get down or whatever.
Zirkle with the throw to the plate, and he does not, Rainwater does not get down to slide, and he's tagged out by Larson.
Well, you couldn't have wrote a better script to this.
Walk out center field.
What a throw by Zirkle. And Rainwater tagged out at home to end the game.
Really? Okay. No.
Get to the real thing. Get your real on, Bubba, man.
38-37, the final score. The USA Futures team defeating the U.S. national team. The Lumber Liquidators' big stick of the game is Jeremy Eisenhower out of Olathe, Kansas. Hit for the cycle tonight in leading this Futures team. And Jeremy Eisenhower is our big stick of the game.
got to be a big moment for him since he was on the national team 2 years ago and did not get selected the last couple years, and he comes back and beats some of his old former teammates.
38-37. That one run scored in the top of the 7th inning puts them over the top. And they hang on. They throw out the game-tying run at the plate for the 3rd out of the inning. It is over.
5 degrees in Oklahoma City today. Believe it or not, it's the coolest day since the World Cup of softball started. It's going to be a lot of fun on the field as we get ready for Border Battle 4 between Canada and the United States. Here's the Canadian starting lineup presented by Lumber Liquidators. Dave Bolt, Jeff Fullardo, maybe at first base, Luke Chavette, Frank Henry, Todd Cadenhead, Claude Chason, Jeff Zanoli, Tim Bentley, Jeff Gare, Al Blaze, and Chris Parr make up the starting 11 for Team Canada. That's right, if you're new to slow pitch softball, 11 in the starting lineup. And for Team USA defensively, again presented by Lumber Liquidators, Brian Rainwater, Rick Baker, a very talented Brian Wegman in right, Bruley, DeDonatis, Cannell, Feedy, Helmer, and Andy Purcell, perhaps the most talented pitcher in the world in slow pitch.
Well, I don't know about being the most talented, but he's been the biggest winner in slow pitch softball. The teams that he's played on, Rismondo Sports, has won 7 of the last 10 national tournaments, national championships, and he's the main reason why.
Now Dave Bolt ready to go in the box for Team Canada. Andy Purcell will throw the first pitch. Swung on, hit sharply to third. Ruley with the play. And a throw over to Feedy, and Bolt is quickly retired. 1 down for Team Canada.
Ruley is the oldest member of Team USA and has been at the top of the game for probably the last 15 years.
We are going to see a lot of offense, we suspect, today. Now, there is a 10 home run limit, and that will definitely come into play.
That is one of the keys of the game. The team that manages their 10 home runs the best will win this game.
Jeff Fullardo now for Team Canada. And there is our first home run of the day. A shot to center field, and it's 1-0 Canada, and that is maybe an early mistake for the Canadians.
Without a doubt. You do not want solos this early in the game. Maybe late in the game, bottom of the 7th to win the game, but not here.
Jeff Fullardo with our first home run. This one to center field. And the wind is blowing out today, but it's not going to matter no matter what. These guys are going to clear that fence easily if they get it up.
And not with the dimensions here at 300 feet all the way around. These guys are normally playing in minor league stadiums, so if the wind was blowing in, they'd still hit it out of here.
There is United States head coach Steve Shortland. He's now his 4th year as Team USA's head coach. And I was talking to him this morning about home run management, and you would think that maybe coaching slow pitch softball, there's not that much to it, but there has become a lot of strategy in recent years.
Without a doubt. I mean, just like the game Wednesday night, the team used all their home runs. You thought they had the game on ice, and they come back and almost cost them in the end. But I think in Canada's perspective here, last year they didn't score the first 3 innings, so maybe this will help loosen them up a little bit.
Make a play, Andy.
Luke Chavette, the native of Quebec, a hard hit ball to center. Nice play by Baker. Round number 2. All right, Denny, here's our keys to the game.
Yes, sir. You just tell me when you're ready, big man.
What's it going to take for Team USA and for Team Canada? Presented by Progressive.
Canada must, they've got new faces in the lineup. They must step up and score early, which they've done, and not get intimidated here under the bright lights of the TV cameras and stuff. Team USA has to manage their home runs and make the plays. So far, they're 2 for 2 in making the plays.
And bring up right fielder Frank Henry for the Canadians. He swings at the first pitch, line drive into left center field. Baker over there trying to slow it down. It skips by him and gets to the wall. But Henry will stop at second base with a 2-out double.
The equipment that we're using today has really transformed the game in the last few years. Years ago, teams would use a 4-man outfield because the balls wouldn't get through the infield. But with the bats and the balls like they are today, teams have went primarily with this 5-man infield and 3 outfield. And you better have 3 good outfielders that can run, catch, and throw.
And now Todd Cadenhead from Vaughan, Ontario. Good third baseman for the Canadians with a runner in scoring position.
Looks like our runner must have pulled a muscle or something. He's hobbling around there on second base.
I got you. Just tell me verbally.
Ready? Easy way, easy way.
Ready, big man? Play.
There you go.
And this one is going to leave.
That's well hit there. That's
up on top of the building.
400-footer. Canada's just matched the last year's output almost here in the first inning, so they're going to be pretty excited.
So home run number 2 for the Canadians, and it's now 3-0. Again, it's a 10 home run limit. And the thing, Denny, that you can probably attest to is that the home run limit has brought athletes back to the game of slow pitch softball. Bat control and defense now stressed more than just power.
Very good point. Back in the 80s, you could put 10 monsters out there, and you know, you had games that were 60 to 58 and really made a difference. Now there's another solo, so they've used 3 of their home runs already here in the first inning.
That's Claude Chason with a home run to center, another Quebec native, and it's 4-0 Team Canada. But again, 2 solo home runs used up.
Not good.
And I was talking with Steve Shortland this morning about this. It is hard for these guys to not hit it out because they're so big and so strong.
Yeah, even when they try to hit the ball up the middle, they try to hit it hard and it sails right out of the park. And that's what happened to him the other night in the 7th inning.
Now Jeff Zinoli.
2 balls, 1 strike.
You're referring to that game between Team USA and the Team USA Futures team, which was won by the Futures.
38-37. Very entertaining game, and really showed off how good some of the athletes that are playing this game today are.
There's Zinoli with a single to center. So a 2-out base runner for the Canadians as Andy Purcell is trying to get that last out here of the first. The catcher, Tim Bentley, to short, handled by DeDonatis. He flips to Cannell, and the Americans get out of the first inning, but Team Canada gets 4 on the board. However, some solo home runs in there.
Very good start, but 2 solos could hurt them.
4-0 Canada. Border Battle 4. We're back in a moment. Here's Jeff Filardo, who hit 1 of the 3 home runs by Team Canada in the top of the first inning. However, of the 3 home runs, 2 were solo shots, including Filardo's, and we'll see if that comes back to haunt the Canadians with that 10 home run limit always looming.
I think, though, it helps them mentally getting 4 runs here in the top of the first inning, which, you know, in the last year getting shut out the first 3 innings and they were behind the 8 ball the rest of the way.
Lumber Liquidators starting lineup for Team USA: Bryson Baker, Greg Cannell, Brian Wegman, Brett Helmer, Brian Rainwater, the pitcher Purcell, Rick Baker, Johnny McCraw is the extra hitter, Don DeDonatis, Ryan Feedy, and Dennis Ruley. And again, 11 in the starting lineup. You look at Bryson Baker there, it says MI in front of him. That means middle infielder. That's something that maybe baseball fans aren't accustomed to.
Exactly. In softball, like we mentioned earlier, they've went to this 5-man infield almost here in the last couple of years because of the equipment. And if they get right, there's one of the reasons why. Normally, if the second baseman was playing more, the other, that would be a base hit, and that's the design.
And Bryson Baker, a hard hit ball. Gare knocks it down. And with a strong throw to first, is able to record the first out.
See, they were playing him. I don't understand why he hit it that way, because they were playing him shaded to that way. I would think he would have went through the hole between the shortstop and the bag, but he went the other way.
And now here's Greg Cannell, a native of Moultrie, Georgia, the youngest player on Team USA at 32. Great power, but here he settles for a base hit. And he's probably very happy with that inside.
Yes, exactly, because he wants to come up when there's 1, 2, or 3 guys on base, but he's a good enough hitter to do what he did right there.
Cannell played his college ball at Valdosta State. And now Brian Wegman comes up.
Wegman was a college baseball player at Evansville, and he owns his own softball complex, Mid-American Ball Yard in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Very versatile player for Team USA, can play in the outfield as he is today and also on the infield. And instead of the number 4 spot like in baseball, in softball the number 3 spot is the significant spot. Here he almost gets Cannell doubled up. Great play at first by Falardo, but can't get to the bag to double up Cannell.
Well, actually, in slow pitch softball, the teams usually put the number 2 guy as the main power guy because they try to turn the order over at the top with the 10th, 11th hitter.
Play.
And Brett Helmer comes up. We haven't mentioned this yet. It's a 1-1 count to start every at-bat.
You can't, yes, and you can't afford walks. The other night, the Futures team walked 3 guys the inning where USA team scored 20 runs, and that's what really hurt him. I would think he's going to try to hit it out here just to get him on the board.
Helmer, deep, and gone.
Real deep.
Brett Helmer, the Americans' first home run, the Americans' first runs of the day.
But not a solo, so with 2 outs, 1 runner on, he decided to go for it. And he's been probably the most dominant left-handed hitter in the game in the last 10 years, or even longer for that matter. It looks like they're trying to stagger their order here, where they've got someone who's going to put the ball on the ground, and the next guy, if he has to, can hit it out.
There's Brett Helmer from the Syracuse area of New York. Hard hit ball to Falardo. And Brian Rainwater is retired, and so are the Americans. But they do strike for 2 on the 2-run shot from Brett Helmer, one of the most recognized and decorated players in American slow pitch. Border Battle 4 continues in Oklahoma City after this timeout.
Softball Outlet.
Having this across your chest is something that you can't take for granted, you know, and you just carry yourself a certain way, you know, and I think playing the game all these years, the way you play the game, you earn it up here. You don't just, nothing is ever taken for granted at the slow pitch softball level. You know, it's not like the major leagues and things like that. You know, you work your way up the levels, and when you get there, it's not about getting there, it's about staying there.
Dennis Hurley, the Team USA third baseman, who made a nice defensive play in the first inning, talking about what it means to wear that uniform.
Well, I think he appreciates it a lot more than the rest of them because he's a senior citizen on the team and time is running out.
I'm sure he's going to appreciate you saying that.
And, we know each other, and he takes kidding really well.
Here we go. Good start.
Here we go, second inning. The Canadians leading 4-2, and they get the leadoff man, Jeff Gare, aboard as he rolls one out to right field.
Canada's got to be really excited with the start they got going here. They outscored Team USA the first inning, and they're off to a great start here in the second inning.
Now Al Blay comes up for Team Canada, native of Maple, Ontario. Andy Purcell is in the game as the starting pitcher for Team USA, directing his outfield. And Purcell's specialty pitch, they say, is the knuckleball.
Knuckleball. Well, the pitching rules in the different associations come into play. Like he pitches a lot of USSSA where you can bluff throws and jump around, do about anything. Here you're limited to what you can do.
Line drive base hit for Blay. Back-to-back singles. This is what the Canadians want, and that'll bring up Chris Parr with a chance to do some damage with one swing. Now here's a look at the rules. Different from baseball, different from fast-pitch softball, certainly. 10 defenders, 11 can bat. It's a 6-10 pitching arc. We'll talk more about that. And again, the batters start with a 1-1 count, which has really sped up the game in recent years.
Yeah, years ago, guys would foul off 25, 30 balls in a row.
This one deep and gone. It's a 3-run home run for Parr, and that's the 4th home run of the day for Team Canada. And now they have a 7-2 lead.
But you got to take those 3-run shots when you can. And
Chris Parr, not very deep by the standards that we have seen already, but it gets the job done.
But deep enough.
And now Dave Bolt rolls one to short. Oh, tough hop for DeDonatis, and it skips away. So Bolt is aboard with still nobody out for Team Canada.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether it's 301 or 451.
I won't let him quick pitches. I'll stop him.
I'm going to rule that an error on DeDonatis. That's a tough play.
This infield here is extremely hard, and it gets some, seems to pick up speed once it hits the infield.
Play.
Here's Falardo now, who homered. Knocked off of Purcell. Nice play by DeDonatis to get the force at second.
That might make the ESPN play of the day. That's a good reaction, knowing where the runner was at.
Well, he makes up for the error quickly, too.
Right. Runner failed to slide there, and it cost him.
Let me know, big man, when you're ready.
And now that'll bring up Chevette, who lined out to center his last time up. He's 0 for 1. Again, a 1-1 count to start the at-bat. And it's 2-1. One thing they say about Purcell, Denny, is that he mixes speeds well. And for someone who's not a fan of slow pitch softball watching this for the first time, that may sound odd because that's a term used in baseball.
You know, back to this 5-man infield strategy, the pitcher tries to get away with throwing the ball as flat as he can so the batter will hit the ball into the ground. And if you're playing 3 guys to the left or right, you pitch it accordingly inside of the hitter that's up and try to get him to pull it into the teeth of the defense.
Chevette walks, and that brings up Frank Henry, who doubled and scored a run in the first. It's the 7th man to come to the plate for Team Canada. 7-2, the Canadians leading.
Play. Good. Ball.
That was the first walk of the game.
Cut it just a little bit.
You can't walk them, that's for sure.
Hard hit to left. We'll see if they send the runner. They will not. They hold Falardo at third, so the base is loaded now for Todd Cadenhead, who came through with a 2-run home run his last time up, and now he's got an opportunity to grand slam.
So what do you do here, Clay? You go for the base hit or you hit it out?
You got to try and hit it out, right?
Get that 4.
Yes, sir.
You want to get these guys down as bad as you can get them down.
Again, the Canadians were embarrassed last year. They'll tell you that. 25-3, and so far so good for Team Canada.
Whoa.
What a play at short by DeDonatis. To second for 1. In-time double play.
Wow.
And the Canadians come up empty in a situation with the bases loaded and 1 out.
That's why Mr. DeDonatis has won several Gold Gloves the last few years. He's probably been the predominant all-star shortstop in the country.
A 6-4-3 double play for Team USA. DeDonatis, the American shortstop, to get Team USA out of a jam, Denny. They're in the top of the second, and maybe this will loosen up the Americans because,
you know, we always
seem a little tight.
Always hear that word momentum, and this could be momentum shift right here.
Steve Shortland, the head coach, said, you know, in the last few years, he's noticed that it takes a while for Team USA to loosen up. As the game goes on, that certainly happens, but the cameras are on them. They know it's the biggest game in the world in slow pitch softball, and it takes a while for his team to loosen up, and maybe that'll do it.
I find that kind of strange because these guys have all played on this stage before. Why they would be tight, I don't know.
There's Andy Purcell with a base hit to right. And again, Steve Shortland, the head coach of Team USA, a retired Air Force vet, spent 23 years in the military. Native of Overland Park, Kansas.
You can put your hand out, just give me
and his center fielder, Rick Baker, comes up now. 7-2, Team Canada leading here in Border Battle 4.
Ball.
2-1 the count on Baker. To center. Bolt makes the catch on the warning track. And Baker is retired for out number 1.
Big out. Get that first out.
And now Johnny McCraw comes up for the first time for Team USA, one of the veterans of the American roster. And another guy with baseball in his background, played at Appalachian State and also was in the Astros system for a while.
Play.
Hits it in the air. Is it going to get out?
It's out of here.
It drifts out and gone. Bolt made an attempt to bring that back in, but it leaves. It's a 2-run home run for Team USA, their second of the day.
Well, it wasn't a solo. That's the only good thing about it, but I don't think he was trying to hit it out. He looks like he's not real happy about it.
Well, he just muscled that out. He didn't get his arms extended.
He was trying to push it up the middle.
And now Don DiDonatis, who made that beautiful defensive play last half inning, comes up. Base is empty for Team USA with 1 out here in the second.
Several of these players all have bad endorsement contracts. Like Mr. DiDonatis here is on the advisory staff at Worth Sports. Johnny McGraw, who just hit, is Combat Sports. Helmer is Easton Sports.
2 balls, 3 balls,
and
1
there's
strike.
several others as well.
A lot of these guys work in the softball or baseball industry when they're not playing.
Right.
Ground ball back up the middle, base hit for DiDonatis.
He has a minor league. He played 3 years in minor league baseball as well.
There's a Tigers farmhand for a while. Well, DiDonatis is arguably the fastest guy on the roster, and now he's at first base. As Ryan Feedy comes up.
He led the Frontier League, or still has the record, I think, 70-some stolen bases 1 year in the Frontier League.
Feedy back to par, makes the catch, and doubled up is DiDonatis.
Look at the excitement here in the Canadian crowd. I mean, they are really into this.
A great double play by Team Canada to finish the second. The U.S. gets 2 on a 2-run home run by McCraw. And it's 7-4 Canada in Border Battle 4.
So you actually reward people for staying with you?
Yep, the longer you stay.
There's Don DiDonatis, who has played exceptional softball here, especially defensively for Team USA. Canada leading 7-4. As we bring in Steve Shortland, the head coach of Team USA. Coach, what are you seeing from your guys here in the early going?
A little flat. We kind of, again, it seems to be our MO. We have a slow start every time we come out here to play, and I emphasized that this morning. So we got to get out early. If you give these guys any kind of chance or any kind of momentum, they're going to feed off of it, and you can tell their crowd's really into it.
How about the plays by DiDonatis so far?
Oh, tremendous. He's such a good defender. You got to find a place to put him in the lineup. The guy just makes unbelievable plays.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much. Good luck today.
Thank you.
There's Steve Shortland in his 4th year as head coach. And you see that DiDonatis had a Navy cap on. All of the players for Team USA wearing caps that represent different branches of the military this inning. Tip of the hat, no pun intended, to the military here in the third.
That's good.
Dennis Rulli. Going to be a tough play if it stays fair, and it does. Rulli with an infield single. That's actually Chason, because Rulli plays for Team USA. It's hard to keep track of these guys at times. There's Claude Chason at first base.
Big man, tell me when you're verbally ready.
Now Jeff Zanoli.
Ready?
Home runs 4-2 in favor of Canada. Back up the middle base hit. Back-to-back hits for the Canadians.
Okay, Coach, what do we do here? We got 2 on.
Well, I'm new to this, but my thought is you leave the yard and you get the 3-run bomb. Right?
With no outs.
Or do you try to?
I might try to get
another base hit.
Save, you know, he'll probably hit into a double play now.
This is Tim Bentley, who hit into a fielder's choice his last time up. He's going to make an attempt to leave. Does it stay fair?
Foul ball.
It's a foul ball for Bentley.
And now he's got 2 strikes, so he's got to keep it fair.
There is no courtesy foul after 2 strikes.
Right. Foul ball and you're out.
3-2 pitch, hit well, and off the wall.
That's even better.
Chason is going to come around third. He will score. Stopping at third base is Zanoli. It's an RBI producing double for Tim Bentley. And they saved that home run. It could have left, but 2 feet short.
That's right. Still got no outs, and they got a good inning going here. They got the same situation, 2 on, no out. Coach is going to come out here and try to kill their momentum a little bit, slow things down.
Just calling any strikes. Seems like the stuff they're hitting. Seems like the stuff they're hitting is flat.
Well, he's thrown 2 perfect pitches and he's calling them off.
At least he has. And that guy likes it super high, so I wanted him to hit a flat one.
I got you.
Because every time I throw it high, he's hit it 9 miles that way.
The flatter we can get it, the better off we should be.
Strategy being talked over by Team USA. Steve Shortland, head coach. Coverage of the World Cup of Softball continuing on ESPN tonight at 7. Canada takes on the United States. The Americans went to 3-0 with a win earlier today over the Netherlands. World Cup of Softball presented by Lumber Liquidators tonight at 7 on ESPN, ESPN3, and live on Watch ESPN. So bragging rights between the Canadians and the United States. The men here in Border Battle 4 and later on tonight in women's fast pitch. And this is Jeff Gare going deep, and at the warning track hauled in by Baker. Tagging and scoring is Zanoli. There's another run for Team Canada. It's 9-4.
As long as they keep marking every inning, that's the name of the game. You got to score every inning.
Yes, sir. When you get close to the mound, I put my hand up so you get yourself together. Tell me verbally, sir.
Now Al Blay for Team Canada.
Ready? Play. Throw.
Hard hit. Nice play by Rulli at
Wow.
third, and he throws him out.
He can still play the game. He's like the Brooks Robinson of slow pitch softball.
Hey, real good inning going here, real good.
And a good play over there by Feedy to go up and get it.
All right, let me get right here with you.
And now Chris Parr, the number 11 hitter in the order for Canada. Cannell at second base makes the play, and Canada is done here in the 3rd inning.
Boy, what started out as a real good inning come to a screeching halt.
9-4. Team Canada, they tack on 2 more as we go to the bottom of the 3rd in Oklahoma City.
Tired of tugging and
Took me about 2 years to learn how to hit a softball and hit it where I wanted to. I mean, I didn't realize, I thought when I first started, this is going to be easy. It's not. It's not easy at all. I mean, it's coming slower. You got to generate your own power. And they used to shift me over to dead pull because I couldn't. They would leave nobody on the right side of the infield, and I still couldn't hit it over there. My opposite field shot was back to the pitcher. So it was, it's a transition. I mean, I've played with Major League Baseball players that came out and played with us that couldn't hit it.
Craw played a long time in baseball and then ended up in the Astros system, but it wasn't an easy transition, as he just told you.
It's really tough. Years ago, we had Ralph Garr, an Atlanta Brave player, tried to play with us after he was done. And there's Rulli, the leadoff hitter here in the bottom of the 3rd. Now, this is right where Team USA wants to be. They've got their leadoff hitter on. Now they have their leadoff hitter in the lineup up with Cannell in the hole. So if Baker can get a hit here, then Cannell can free swing.
Dennis Rulli is aboard. He's been on 3 of the 4 national teams for Team USA. And back to the top of the order here in Bryson Baker, the middle infielder for the Americans.
Seems like it always when a player makes a good defensive play, he comes in and he's the first player up.
To right. Running catch by Henry. He gets it in quickly, so Rulli can't advance. Big out for Team Canada.
Ball hung up. He was trying to do the right thing, hit that gap. Just sailed on him.
So Bryson Baker is 0 for 2.
Now this will be interesting to see what Cannell here tries to do, whether he tries to launch one or try to hit that gap, that little hole right up the middle between the middle infielder and the shortstop.
That's what he did last time. He got a base hit right up the middle. There's that hole you're talking about, Denny. And he tries to get there, but it's cut off by Falardo on the line.
You know, I think Team Canada watched how the Futures team defended these guys the other night, and they're doing a lot of the similar things with the way they're moving their people around on defense.
We're seeing some exceptional defense here today by both sides.
Especially, you know, the way the ball, the velocity of the speed of the ball off the bat and the reaction time with these guys is phenomenal.
This is Brian Wegman. Wegman, his first time up, lined out to first. Falardo made a good play that time as well. They like to kid Brian Wegman, as you know, Danny. He's kind of the golden boy of this team, and he's the guy that shows up on the billboards when Team USA softball is advertised, and the guys never let him forget it. This time he hits it to the warning track, but not out. Believe it or not, a 1-2-3 inning for Team USA.
You know, the other night, same thing happened. They scored 0 runs. I think it was the 3rd inning again where they had an offer, and you cannot have offers.
Border Battle 4 here in Oklahoma City alongside Denny Helmick. Slow pitch Hall of Famer on Clay Matvick. Canada 9-4 as we go to the top of the 4th, and Team USA's goal, as Steve Shortland, the head coach, told us before the game, was 30 runs. Well, when you go 1-2-3 as they did in the bottom of the 3rd, that's going to be a hard goal to reach.
Well, the other night they went 1-2-3, I think, in the same 3rd inning and ended up with 37. So they'll have that one big inning. It's just the question is, when's it going to happen?
Dave Bolt, the leadoff man here in the 4th for Team Canada, walks, and that brings up Falardo, who has a solo home run and a fielder's choice today. 2 runs scored.
Purcell got called for a flat pitch there.
Ball.
This umpire here has a little bit tighter strike zone than the other night, I think, with the 6 to 10.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's Chris McGee, the home plate umpire. 2-2 to Falardo. Swung on, back up the middle, solid single for Jeff Falardo. Bolt will stop at second base. He made a hard turn, thought about 3, but pulls up there. 2 on, nobody out for Canada.
But he got right through the teeth of the 5-man. You know, the 3-man outfield really was started, at least in my mind, back in the late 60s, early 70s. Long Island County Sports and Detroit Snyders and Hamilton, the Wellsman Truckers, and the Hardin County Raiders were several teams that employed that 3-man outfield.
Play.
You really have to have speedy outfielders to take on that strategy.
Yeah, years ago when they were playing a 4-man outfield, you could put 2 300-pounders out there in right center and get away with it. See, he called the illegal pitch again here.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
So now 2-2 to Luke Chevette, the DH for Team Canada.
Well, he's going to ring him up.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
Full count.
It wasn't high. Height was good. It was just over his back shoulder.
Looked like he was getting ready to wind him up.
There you go.
To second, and a bad throw. Here comes Bolt to score. They're going to hold Falardo at 3rd, and Chevette goes to second, and then finally coming in is Falardo. It's a 2-run mistake by the Americans.
That is big there because they're not only out, they got a couple runs in, another runner in scoring position. Still got no outs here in the top of the 4th. Cannell's usually a pretty sure-handed, well, he did catch the ball, and he just ball sailed on him.
bring up Frank Henry.
You got to make the plays. You give them 4, 5, 6 outs, and it's going to hurt you.
And they get a couple of runs without a home run.
Exactly. But by no means is this game out of reach.
Scores in the 40s and 30s still very commonplace.
You know, when they play in the bigger stadiums, they're not usually it might be 22-12. It's not like they used to be with the 50s and 60s. I mean, it's they've really got away from that.
Base hit.
Caught him leaning the other way.
That was Cannell leaning toward first. And coming in to score is Chavette. And it's 12-4, Team Canada.
Canada's got to be ecstatic right now the way this game is going compared to last year's. Last year's game was almost over at this time of the game.
Frank Henry has 3 hits today, none of them homers.
It would be ironic if Canada did to the U.S. what the U.S. did to them last year.
Right.
Tell me verbally, big man.
Team Canada lost to the Americans 25-3 last year.
Ready? Play.
And now Todd Cadenhead for the Canadians, and this is high and deep down the line, but hooking foul. Canada has 4 home runs. We remind you there is a 10 home run limit. After that, they're out.
They've done a real good job here so far, even with the 2 solos. They have 12 runs on 14 hits.
Ready? Play.
And the big stat so far, they don't have any errors, and the U.S. has 2.
This is going to leave.
That's well hit.
2-run bomb for Cadenhead, his second 2-run home run today. It's a 14-4 lead for Team Canada.
And that's half their home runs now. So we're in the 4th inning, so they're pretty much right on schedule where they want to be with the home runs. That ball was hit close to 400 feet.
And now Claude Chason will come up. He is 2 for 2 with a solo home run and a single. A couple of runs scored. Andy Purcell, as we said before, one of the better pitchers in the world. And the Canadians have done a pretty good job against him so far.
They've done a real good job, and they made him pay when he walked. They scored.
Back up the middle over the glove of Purcell. Another hard hit ball by Team Canada. Chason is on his 3rd hit. And the middle infielder Jeff Sinoli due up next.
Looks like the coach is going to make a little pitching change here.
No, I know. I already talked about that earlier. Speedy.
Let's see what Steve Shortland is going to do here.
Andy. Can you play first?
Looks like he's going to bring Buck in the pitch, taking Feedy out, moving Purcell to first base.
And judging by the body language, I don't think Purcell is too happy about it.
I don't think he wants to get off the mound the way it looks.
Okay.
So coming into pitch for Team USA is Gino Buck, native of Red Wing, Minnesota.
Years ago, a lot of coaches would interchange pitchers and first basemen to different batters, and I wouldn't be surprised if Purcell's back in pitching before the game's over.
Yeah, 34 for 22.
Now pitching for the USA, number 34, Gino Buck.
Purcell goes to first for Team USA.
Coach.
On a roster this size, how many pitchers does a team usually have?
Normally, the upper level teams usually have one, and they may have another guy who can pitch also, but with the cost of some of these teams, you don't want to carry too many extra guys. But Gino's a pitcher on his team, so he'll do all right here.
Steve Shortland making a move here in the 4th inning. See if he can stop this Canadian momentum. Rulli with another nice play and throw. He has been excellent at third base today for the Americans. There's one down.
I think he forgot there was a runner on first base there.
You think he could have got two there?
He could have got one at second for sure. I don't know if he'd got, but I'd rather have the out at second base than one at first base.
Base hit. Coming around is Chason. He will score. It's 15-4, Team Canada.
If he'd have went to second base there, they still had runners on the corners maybe. They wouldn't have a run in, and you could get out of the inning with a double play like Dionysus pulled off the last inning.
14 is entering for 63.
Now we've got a runner over at first base, going to change. Ryan Wood is going to run for Team Canada at first. He runs for Tim Bentley.
Team Canada, 14 for 63. Yes, ma'am.
If I'm Team Canada here, I try to see if I can get up 20 runs, see what happens.
Certainly put them in the driver's seat. As it is right now, it's an 11-run lead for Team Canada.
And it might get Team USA's attention. It doesn't seem like, like their coach said, it seems like they're just going through the motions here.
There's Ryan Wood running at first base for Bentley.
Play. There you go.
To second, Cannell goes to second for the force. And there are two down as Gare forces out Wood, and that'll bring up Blay.
Cannell fields this one clean and makes a better throw than the one he had there before. So got two outs. USA needs to get an out here. Get in here and get some runs.
Team USA has won 2 of the 3 meetings with Canada in the Border Battle Series. It backs up against it today. Hard hit to center. Baker can't make the catch. This might be another Canadian run. Here comes the throw. It's cut off. Gare scores, and it's 16-4 Team Canada.
Looked like he was having trouble picking up the flight of the ball on that. Normally he runs those down.
Man, he just glove.
Yeah, he did get a glove on it.
And Chris Parr now for Canada.
Another illegal pitch called dead ball. Now, if the hitter swings at that, it's in play.
There you go. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
High fly ball to center. Baker looks up and watches it go. A 2-run home run for Team Canada. It's now 18-4 as Chris Parr leaves the yard for the Canadians.
The Canadian fanfare, all standing ovation here. I think Canada now has got a little bit of confidence in this game. It's a little bit different than last year.
That is 6 home runs now for Team Canada. Again, the limit is 10.
They're getting close to that where you want to save some.
But at least they're hitting multiple run homers now. Early on, they hit the solo shots, and it appeared it was going to be a problem.
After the first 2, every one's been either a 2-run shot or a 3-run shot.
So Dave Bolt comes up as the Canadians have batted around here in the 4th, and he singles to left. Dave Bolt with his first hit of the day. And then I'll bring up Falardo again. Falardo, the solo home run in the 1st. Got the scoring started for Team Canada.
Jeff is on the Worth Advisory staff, I know, up in Canada. And he's, wow.
Right back up the middle. Buck can't make the catch. Now 2 on. with 2 outs for the Canadians, as this inning just won't end for Team USA.
They got to get an out. They've got 9 runs this inning.
14th man to come to the plate is Luke Chevette. And you can see Steve Shortland, he's just steaming.
And it looks like the Canadian are having a discussion here whether he should go for it or base hit it.
What would you do?
Tell me verbally. I'm about you.
I don't know. I'd try to blow it. I'd try to end this game right now.
Play.
Gino Buck. This is outside. It's 2-1 to Luke Chevette. He does not have a hit yet today, but he does. Nope. He hit it hard. I thought it might sail up and out, but
didn't get the right spin on it.
Right at Wegman to end the inning finally for Team USA. They score 9 times. And it's now 18-4 Canada in Border Battle 4.
Fortunately for us, you know, we were able to score 25 runs, I think it was, with 9 home runs, and we kind of turned the page on that. This is a brand new year. We know they're very capable of completely turning that around. So we're not going to approach this game with any kind of anything less than, you know, full bore effort, because we know the talent that they have. It's been proven that they can beat us, and knowing that is just fuels our fire every time we do step on the field with them.
Now Steve Shortland sees Brett Helmer lead off the 4th with a single to center as Team USA is down by 14 runs.
They're going to have to mark here this inning. They can't afford another offer, and they need to get about 7 or 8, 9, or even more if they can to put some pressure on the Canadian team.
And now Brian Rainwater up. Grounded out to first his last time up. This might have a chance to go. It does, yes. Home run for Brian Rainwater, the 3rd home run for the Americans.
That ball went off the 350 fence back there, the fence behind the parking lot. I'd look for him to try to catch him or get close to him this inning. If they get these first 3 or 4 or 5 guys on and hit a couple more home runs, they will be right back in it. Because we were getting close to having that run rule come into play again.
And it's 15 after 5, right?
Right.
So it's 18-6 now. Andy Purcell comes up for Team USA. He started as the pitcher in this game, has been moved to first base. He had a single his last time up.
Good pitch.
Chopped down the line. Tough play for Cadenhead. It gets under his glove into left field. Look at Purcell. He keeps
avoids the double play, getting the second. And there's the looks like they gave him an error on that play. You can't. It's what we talked about before the game. You cannot give him extra outs.
He kept right on moving too and got into second base. Brings up Baker. Baker lined out to center. He's 0 for 1.
Team USA is right where they want to be in their batting order too. They're down at the bottom. If they get all these guys on and can turn it over to the top, they'll be right back in this game.
Over his back shoulder, over his back shoulder. Good pitch.
Base hit. Purcell will be held up at 3rd. Runners at the corners and nobody out.
Baker got the big hit the other night, Wednesday night, when the tying run was thrown out at the plate. Almost in an identical situation, but on the other side of the second base.
Here's Johnny McCraw, the EH.
All right, kids, come on, get in for me.
Be interesting to see what he does here, whether he goes for it or goes for the hit.
Ball.
With no outs, I would think he may just go for the hit.
Good pitch. Ball. 2 balls, 3 balls, 1 strike. Over his back shoulder.
Catcher doesn't like that call.
Just a little bit. Over his back shoulder. Good pitch. Yep.
Full count.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
Notice that the full counts are rare. Illegal pitch, 2 on. No, base is loaded. Excuse me.
Walk. Big walk.
That last one just came over his back shoulder. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He caught illegal because it was flat. Now they're going to try to slow the game down, kill the momentum. Now the crowd's getting into it. If you can hear them chanting USA, USA.
That last pitch was flat. It's a 6'10" arc limit. No lower than 6 feet, no higher than 10 feet.
Correct. I think the fans are now starting to get in the game, which may help the USA team get a little.
That was the first walk allowed by Carr.
Now the Canadian fans are hollering. They're a little outnumbered here. The intensity level on the Canadian squad has been about 3 times higher than U.S. We got B.J. Folk, looks like he's going to pinch hit here.
15, you can.
This is indeed Donatis' spot in the 9 hole for Team USA. B.J. Folk out of King, North Carolina, left-handed hitter, comes up with 3 on. So
this is a grand, knowing B.J. Folk, he's got one instruction. That's the hit it out of here.
If he can do it.
He's hit a lot of them in his day. He was a former national MVP as well.
If he can do it, it'll make it an 8-run game.
I don't know if I would have made this move this early in the game, which is still relatively early.
Ready? Play. Good pitch.
Line drive down the line. Base hit.
Better.
Gets past a diving Henry and right. 2 runs are going to score. It is a 2-run pinch hit double for Folk.
Now we'll see if he puts someone in a run for Folk or leaves him out there.
Now explain again, Denny, to the fans who are watching why this is better than a grand slam.
Well, you've got no outs, and you've got runners on second, third, no outs, and you want to save the home runs. I mean, he could have hit it out just as well as what he did there.
You got it. Just tell me when you're ready, sir.
You know, he will still score this inning, so you save the home run. I'd be shocked if he doesn't score.
The home run limit again is 10, and it's about home run management.
Exactly.
I understand, but it's over his back shoulder. Good pitch.
The middle infielder, Zanoli. Good throw, but a run scores. As McCraw comes home. And now it's 18-9.
He just missing over the back
So
shoulder.
Thede is out.
We got Rowley up and then the top of the order. So they got to get to the top here.
Just 1 out for Team USA. They have scored 5 times here in the 4th.
Good pitch.
Base hit.
Middle infielder almost guessed right on that.
And Folk is going to be held at third. At the corners, still 1 out.
This will be a tough decision here for Bryson Baker, who can hit him with the best of them, and with Cannell on deck, to see what he does. Personally, I'd like to see him just get a base hit and let Cannell launch one over the scoreboard like he did the other night.
The offense is starting to pick up here, specifically for Team USA now.
I think what Coach told us, though, they just keep waiting around, and then they kind of get kick-started, and then they roll.
The first 2 border battles, the winning team scored 30 runs. Last year, the Americans scored 25 in a win.
Play. Good pitch. Ball.
And that's kind of what Steve Shortland said. I mean, our goal is 30 runs, 30 on 10. 30 runs on 10 homers.
Look at this.
Line drive, middle infielder Zanoli right there. And Baker is retired for out number 2, and he's disappointed.
Well, I got to believe Cannell's going to try to launch one here. It's quite evident that Canada did watch the Futures, how the Futures shortstop, middle infielder, and second baseman played them the other night, and they're moving their defense just like the Futures team did. I mean, I think they've caught 4 or 5 line drives this game already.
He's one of the best hitters in the nation right here, Greg Cannell. Been playing slow pitch softball for about 15 years, and he hits it high and deep to right. And reaching up as Henry can't make the catch. A 3-run home run for Cannell. The 4th long ball for the Americans today. And just like that, Team USA is within 6.
Right back at it. They're still down 1 on the inning, though. So, I mean, Canada's got to be happy right where they're at. Now, they scored 9. USA's only scored 8. So, let's see if they can get a couple more here with 2 outs.
Thought for a second that Henry was going to have a play on that ball, and he ran out of real estate.
And Cannell did a good job of hitting. They pitched him away because they knew what would happen if he, if they threw it in his wheelhouse, and he went the other way with it and knocked it out. So now we got Wegman and Helmer on deck here. But that error, if you remember the play the third baseman missed, is they've scored probably 4 runs here that they wouldn't have had.
Brian Wegman, he's 0 for 2 today, and that's rare for Wegman to be this far into a game and be hitless. There's his first one.
Hitless.
Yep. Bouncing ball to left. Wegman is aboard, and when the bases are empty, that's what you want, right? You want to just settle for the single.
Definitely, or a double or a triple, but don't get the home run unless you have to have it.
Well, for the first time today, Team USA is batted around. Now Helmer comes up. He started the inning with a single. He came around to score. One of the 8 runs so far in this inning for Team USA.
That would be interesting to see what he does here. If he goes, looks like he's going to try to base hit it. And then this is another rule that's in international play that you can steal. And that's the first one this weekend, I think. They put that rule in effect, so it used to be in the game of slow pitch if the ball was bobbled around or rolled back to the backstop, the catcher would turn around, walk back, and it speeds the game up, keeps the catcher into the game.
I like it.
I do. I mean, I think they should do it in all the slow pitch.
Let me know, big man.
That is ruled a stolen base for Wegman.
Yep, dead ball.
I don't think we can give the pitcher a wild pitch on that or the catcher a pass ball.
No.
Dead ball. 3 balls.
Another illegal pitch.
No.
3-1 to Helmer.
Strike.
Now 3-2.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
Chopped.
Oh, this will be interesting here.
Tough play. Can't make it.
He gave himself up there just to get on. Pitch was too close to take.
What happened here?
Ground ball. He used that ground. We talked about how hard the ground is. He hit it right down on the ground, chopped it up. And, I don't know if any third baseman could have. It was really a tough play. But it used to be years ago in the ASA, they had a rule that if you chopped down on the ball, they could actually call you out. And they've changed that rule over the years. Because guys would just hit the ball down on the ground and run. They could run. But here we're going to try to kill the momentum again. I don't know if he's going to make a pitching change or not.
Champion will be crowned as Euro 2012 concludes Sunday on ESPN. Spain attempts to repeat as champions when they take on Italy in the final. Spain, Italy, Sunday at 2:30 on ESPN, ESPN3, and watch ESPN.
Now here's a good hitting situation for Rainwater, who can base hit it or hit it out of the park, to see what decision he's going to make here. He might go for it here and make it 18-15.
Give me a verbal.
Rainwater with a 2-run home run his last time up. That was earlier in this 4th inning. Outside pitch, back up the middle base here. We keep an eye on Wegman. He is going to be waved around and will score. 18-13 as the United States continues to chip away, Denny.
We knew they were going to have a big inning, just how many and how soon. Now if Purcell can get a hit or hit it out of here and set it up for Rick Baker, it'll be interesting to see if they can tie it up by the time the inning is over with 2 outs here.
You got you, sir.
Purcell 1 for 2, a single his first time up. And he reached on that error you were talking about earlier this inning. And this is hit high and deep. A 3-run bomb for Purcell.
On the roof top.
And we've got a 2-run game.
400-foot 3-run shot. Team USA is back in the game, just following the script that they did the other night. Purcell the last few years has really improved himself as a hitter. I know he's worked at it real hard, and he's now probably one of the premier clutch hitters in the country. And now the crowd is really getting into it, so this is the closest they've been since the second inning.
That was the 5th home run for Team USA. And again, the limit is 10. How are the Americans doing, Denny, as far as home run management?
They're in a good situation right now because they've got the hammer. I mean, Canada, you know, by batting first is, although that's not going to be good there. And that wasn't what he was trying to do either.
Baker leaves the yard, a solo shot here in the 5th. And it's a one-run game, but like you said, Denny, sometimes those can hurt you because that's a solo shot. That brings the total to 6 with 4 to go.
Now, does that tie us up with Canada got 6 also, don't they?
Yeah, 6 apiece.
Watch this home run again as it sails over the scoreboard. You can tell he was a little disgusted with himself, even though the ball went over the scoreboard.
One of the ironies of slow pitch softball, disgusted with yourself with a home run.
When they were 6 or 7 years old, they'd been doing cartwheels to hit home runs.
So Baker a solo shot, each team with 6. This is down the line. Scooting for second is McCraw, and he's going to get in there sliding.
Pretty good hustle for a guy in his 40s.
Johnny McCraw.
I don't think you could give him an error on that play. That was a tough play there. I don't think you couldn't have thrown him out even if he caught it clean. But we'll see if Folk goes for a single or tries to hit it out of here and give the USA the lead. He's quite capable of doing both.
Folk, a big double earlier this inning.
Bases loaded double.
How about the 2-out hitting by Team USA here in the 4th?
And that error comes into play. How many runs he got? Look at this.
Another base hit down the line for Folk. He delivers again. This is going to roll all the way into the corner as McCraw comes in, and we're tied up at 18 as the Americans have made it all the way back.
I haven't given you that one
Had
all
that
day.
one big inning.
Give you that one all day.
And they're still batting.
Neither pitcher.
We'll see if he leaves Folk out there on second base or he's going to pinch run for him. Looks like he's going to pinch run for him. BJ's not the quickest player of foot on this roster. Now, he's going to re-enter. Dianatis is going back in for Folk. So actually they get 2 at-bats. He gets 4 or 5, or I think 5 RBIs, and now his Dianatis will go back in the game and they don't miss a beat on defense.
The Americans have scored 7 with 2 outs here in the 4th inning.
Re-enter for 15.
And we're even at 18 here.
And still batting. Well, Buck the last time lined out to the middle infielder who had him played right. Let's see if they put him in the same position this time. Team Canada sat and watched and took notes the other night when they were playing the Futures team to see where these guys hit the ball in situations where they couldn't hit home runs, so to see what their tendencies were.
Illegal.
It's an illegal pitch called by the home plate umpire.
That one there he was calling too high.
That's it. Illegal.
Another, that one too flat.
3 balls, 1 strike.
Don't want to walk him.
They got to get to his shoulder at least.
There's ball 4.
Buck is aboard with a 2-out walk. 2 on, and the inning continues for Team USA.
I'll say his shoulder 6 feet, okay?
As Dennis Ruley comes up, the number 11 hitter in the American order.
Well, he's quite capable of hitting it out of here as well, even though with this, you might look at him and say, well, that guy can't hit it. He can hit it a long way.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
And he gets a piece of this one. Goodbye home run. It's a 3-run job for the Americans, and Team USA leads for the first time today. It's 21-18.
That's 17 runs this inning. They're going to be close to matching that 20 runs they put on the board the other night. I don't know, maybe Coach Shortland got him in that dugout in between innings, said, hey guys, let's get this show on the road. But now we're to the top of the order again with 17 runs in and 2 outs.
Well, this has turned into a Canadian nightmare after a great start for Team Canada. The Americans have just roared right on back.
You know, the keys of the game, you got to make the plays. And they walked a couple guys, they booted a couple balls, and this is what happens.
And the inning continues. A hit for the leadoff man, Bryson Baker. And that's his first hit today.
Now, Cannell, who had homered earlier in the inning, we'll see what he does this time with the runner on first, if he tries to preserve the home runs or uses it.
Everybody in the American order has at least one hit now. Cannell had that big 3-run homer his last time up. That was earlier this inning.
See, that's what's good about this rule. The catcher ran over, picked the ball up, threw it back. He didn't walk and lollygag around.
Line drive, foul. And that'll make it 2-2. Now, there is no courtesy foul, so now the next strike, even if it's a foul ball, will be an out.
You know, you look at it and say, well, that shouldn't make a difference, but you got to keep it between the lines, so you got to alter your swing. So he's not going to probably try to push the ball down the right field line. My bet is he will probably free swing here.
Cannell steps into one, goes down the line, and this time it's fair. Baker rolls into third. He'll keep on coming for home and will score. It's an RBI triple for Greg Cannell, 22-18.
That just goes to show you how good a hitter he is. A lot of guys would be scared to even try that again, but that's why he's one of the premier hitters in the game today. Besides leading the country in home runs the last 3 years, he can base hit it with the best of them.
18 runs this inning for Team USA, and they are now sending the 22nd man to the plate this inning. Wegman high and deep to center,
that's out of here.
And it's going to drift out. Home run. It's a 2-run shot for Brian Wegman. His first home run of the afternoon. And it's now 24-18.
20-run inning. They matched their 20 runs that they got the other night. And they're not done. Now, this will be interesting to see how Canada reacts to being down for the first time in the game when they, it looks like they're going to make a change now. Manley's coming out, approaching home plate to talk to the umpire.
There's Wegman disgusted with himself on a home run again. I just can't get over that.
Come on, keep working, stretch, keep stretching, keep stretching. We got 2, we got 3. Keep pushing for it.
You can tell that the Americans are happy, but they're certainly not satisfied with the way they're talking down in the dugout.
I mean, you know, with these home run rules, it's interesting to see how they do adjust their swings and score runs. You know, I know teams that these guys play on, Resmondo and Laser Vision, they've had games. I know Resmondo's had a game this year where they've scored 30 runs in an inning without an out. So it does happen.
Now, Todd Cadenhead is going to pitch now for Team Canada as they make a change. 6 American home runs this inning, 18 runs in all. And just so you know, the Americans are at 8 home runs for the game, so they have 2 left before they start becoming outs. And that is significant because we play 7.
Exactly.
7 innings.
Well, I don't think it will bother the Team U.S. as much because as you've watched the game so far, you see all these guys that are home run hitters like Cannell and Folk base hit the ball as well as they can hit it out of the park.
Well, we thought Cadenhead had moved to the rubber, but it's actually Ryan Wood who's going to pitch for Team Canada. How much of a difference can this make? Is it...
This ain't like Major League Baseball where it's a righty-lefty. It just more or less is a change of momentum. I mean, there's not much you can do when it's 6-10. You know, you can try to sneak in a flat pitch or get him try to throw a knuckleball or whatever. So,
but it is a different look for the hitters.
Without question, and it makes they can set up the defense. Guys will, when they're hitting against the 5-man infield, a lot of times will like to hit it off the pitcher's bare hand. So you want to stagger your middle infielder into that hole.
Well, this has been a long inning in the field for Team Canada, and when the temperatures are about 108 degrees, that's That's saying something.
Yes.
You want to get off the field as soon as you can.
And the team that's in the best physical condition, you know, the American team is used to some weekends will play 10 games in 2.5 days. So, I mean, most of them are in pretty good shape, even though you may look at him and say, whoa, he looks like, you know.
Deep to right field. Henry reaches up. It's off the top of the wall and going in to second base.
Helmer, I think, was cussing himself out as he was running the first thing, and he spun it out of here.
That's Brett Helmer with a double off the top of the wall.
I only have no business watching that.
How close? Look at that. 1 foot from being out of here.
Big man, let me know.
That's the third time Helmer has hit in this inning. My scorecard was an absolute disaster.
They don't have enough boxes.
Illegal?
No, we don't.
Illegal, seeing he still hit it.
Deep short, and there's no play. Helmer moves up to third on it.
See, when that umpire calls that illegal pitch, you still have the option if you want to hit that pitch. In that case, the pitch was a little outside, and that's where Rainwater wanted to go.
10 feet.
And
10 feet. Yeah.
he utilized this hard infield again by hitting it in the ground.
They don't need any help with
And this inning continues. This is all happening with 2 outs.
I'm giving you the same pitch I'm giving them. You got to just give me verbal.
24-18 here.
20 runs for Team USA here in the 6th. And did they get 2 more? Make it 3 more, I should say. Nope, caught at the warning track by Chason. And Team USA is finally done, but they scored 20 times. 13 runs scored with 2 outs for the Americans.
There again, you don't make the play. They give them 2 extra outs and then the walks, and then come.
Now we go to the top of the 5th. Look at that, a 20 spot put up by the Americans in the bottom of the 4th. Welcome back to General Tire. Border Battle 4 between Team Canada and Team USA. Essentially the World Championship of slow pitch softball at the elite level. And the Americans were slow starters today, Denny Helmick, but they really caught fire there in the 4th.
That seems to be their mode of operation. They did the exact same thing the other night. Now, see, now they put Purcell back in the pitch. They brought Del Baggs in to catch to give Helmer a breather. And this is very critical for Canada to score this inning. If they get shut down here, they can come in and end the game, really, the way they're starting to roll now.
The most runs you have seen, at least in recent memory, in a softball game? Scored by one team.
Back in the Steels days, I've seen them score 120 one game. Recently, in the 50s, in the last couple of years with the home run rules, like on the weekends, these guys play in a conference, and the limit in there in the upper level is 16 home runs, so it does stretch it out a little bit.
Frank Henry to lead it off for Team Canada, down in the game for the first time, and a sharp single to center. Good start for Henry and Canada.
They definitely have to score here. If they throw up an 0 for here.
Now number 23, John Cadenhead.
Bring up Cadenhead. Cadenhead has 2 two-run home runs today.
Be sure 1 here. Be sure 1. All right, be sure 1 here.
You got it, sir.
Let's see what he decides to do here.
What would you do?
Illegal?
You got to get a hit. You know, I mean, they're still in the game here. You can't blow your home
2
runs
balls,
when
1
you're
strike.
still behind this. You know, bat down 6. Well, he didn't. Well, he feels they need it now. See, you can't let your ego get you the best of you in a situation like this where you need maybe to get a base hit, but you want to hit a home run so all your fans back home can see you trot around the bases.
That's his 3rd two-run home run.
Because it's a game of home run management.
And now it's 24-20.
And that's 8-7 on the home runs. Seeing Team USA's got the hammer, so.
And now Chase on. Purcell, nice play. That's not easy.
Not with the velocity the ball comes off that bat. And you're 50. Well, he backs up. But he was a shortstop in high school and was shortstop in college pitcher. So he is set. If you watch him after he releases the ball, he's one of the few pitchers that is actually fundamentally sound in getting ready to catch the ball. And he's one of the few at the upper level that doesn't wear a mask. Today's game, both pitchers aren't wearing masks.
Does that become common?
Yes.
Pitchers protecting their face?
Yes. And some are even wearing shin guards. But you see how he backpedals. He's probably 5 steps back and he's set. A lot of guys just feel they're like a pitching machine. They just, throw it up and what happens, happens.
Jeff Zanoli for Team Canada. DiDonatis.
2 outs.
Nice play again from DiDonatis. Canada has 2 away here in the 5th inning.
See there again, they played that 5-man infield. They played the 3 guys between first and second, forcing him to pull the ball. Evidently, his tendencies were he liked to hit the right side, so they made him pull the ball. They get the ground ball. They got the same setup right now. Same result. They get him to pull the ball. They're out of the inning.
Big defensive inning for Team USA. Canada gets a couple, but the Americans have all of the momentum right now in Border Battle 4.
And there's lots of...
Team USA leading by 4 in Border Battle 4 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. And this game is going to be rebroadcast on the 4th of July, 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. Great way to celebrate Independence Day, a border battle between Canada and Team USA.
Team USA's got 11, 1, and 2 in their batting order up here. You don't really have to bat 11 if you don't want to. If I was managing this team, I think I would only bat 10. That way allegedly your 3 best hitters, 1, 2, and 3, would get an extra at bat. So a lot of strategy, but here they're trying, like normal all-star games, is let everybody get to play.
I think that one was a little too high.
Dennis Ruley, that 3-run home run is part of that huge 5th inning. This one high and deep could sail out of here, and it does, and the Americans are down to their last home run. That's 9.
I don't think he was trying to hit it out there, but looking at the way he's trotting around the bases, man, he's making this last.
Yes.
Home run limit is 10.
So Team USA, the top of the order here with Bryson Baker.
Scuba! Let's go, Scuba! Come, Bees! Come, Bees! Come on, Bryson! Come, Bees! Let's go!
Again, this is essentially the World Championship of softball at the elite level. And the Americans, even though they started slow, have really come on ever since that 5th inning where they scored 20 runs. They've kind of taken the momentum as Baker gets his 2nd hit.
This will be interesting to see here whether Cannell wants to save the home run or go to one of his tape measure shots.
Come, Connie, let's go! Stay right on it!
Team Canada down to its final 3 outs. And Cannell
spins it out of here.
Yep, and that's going to do it for home runs as Team USA gets 2 from Cannell to make it 27-20. But that's it for the long ball for the Americans.
Yep, but they got a 7-run lead, and that might be a little mountain too high to climb.
Nice collection of souvenirs out there for those fans.
If you watch Cannell swing here on replay, how rhythmic and emotional, it's just nice and easy. Cuts it, spins it. Out it goes.
Good job, good job, good job.
Well, there's no doubt what they'll be trying to do now since they have no outs and their home run limit's up.
There's line drives, hard hit ground balls.
And the pitcher better be ready. Because if you look at that hole between the shortstop and second base, and they're even giving him a bigger hole now.
Ready? Play. Illegal. Dead ball.
Team USA went down in this game.
Time.
It was 9-2.
2 balls,
9
2 strikes.
to 4, excuse me, at 1 point.
Ready? Play.
I knew he was hitting that hole. The pitcher's pitch with, the bare hand side. The shortstop is playing over towards third. You could drive a semi through there.
Brian Wegman has his third hit. I take that back. It was 18-4 at one point, Team Canada.
And we'll see how they play their middle infielder here with this is Begg's first time up.
Dal Beggs.
Dead ball.
I think he'll try to hit the right center gap here.
Dead ball. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Don't want to walk him.
That has a chance to go out, and it will. And that's an out. So Wegman will go back to first.
He tried to hit that gap, but it's a fine line. If you get underneath it, big and strong as these guys are, and with this 300-foot fence, it's going to sail right out of here. That happened to him the other night in the 7th inning of the game against the Futures.
Play.
And the future of Team USA, does it look bright?
Very bright. Actually, I think it would be a good idea in the future, if they had the Futures play Team USA, to whoever wins that game plays the Canadian team.
There's Rainwater with a hit.
I was trying to save you some steps.
The average age of Team USA is right around 33, 34.
No.
That's what Steve told me.
It's probably 37 or 38, because you got 3 or 4 guys that are in their early 40s. And they've got one player who's 45, but I won't tell you who it is.
Okay, now.
Yeah, Rainwater's had a bad knee, and they're taking him out and replacing him.
The number that he's going to be 13 upstairs.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay. They're not in the ball game together?
Yeah, they are.
Looks like he popped something halfway down the first baseline.
Oh, here, okay.
Yeah, 2 different 12s, because those guys were on the Futures team. So they told me it's okay for last week. They're going to make them win 13 in the foot.
Okay,
Team USA did bring 3 or 4 players up from the Futures team for this because of some of the injuries that they had. And,
so he's going to go in Rainwater spot, which is in the 5.
5, okay. 13 for 11.
13, but it says 12 on his back.
I understand. It's 13.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Coach.
Explain to him what's up.
I will.
It looks like it's Travis Clark, if I'm not mistaken.
Because they didn't have a jersey, even though he has 12, his actual number is 13. Okay? They told me to play with it. I called. So it's 13 for 11.
Okay. And he's not on that roster. It's Kevin Bazat. He was the shortstop middle infielder for Futures team.
Okay, you got, actually the number's going to be 13, even though he has 12. That's Brissett. So you got 13 for 11.
I'm glad you have that, Denny, because I'm a little confused. If you're not on the roster, it makes it extremely difficult.
I know who he is, so.
Now, anyway, he's at first now, and we've got 2 on, 1 out for Team USA here in the bottom of the 6th. This is about insurance right now, Denny.
Exactly, because Canada still's got a couple home runs. They get a couple guys on and hit 2 or 3 run home runs. They'd be right back, but they can't let them get any more. See, Team USA lost the first 3 innings, and then they've won the last 3 innings.
Purcell to right field. Needs to stay in the park. It will. And tracked down by Henry. Here comes the throw back into the infield. Wegman, who tagged, makes it over to third, so runners at the corners.
Tried to punch that in there and got too much of it. But here's Rick Baker again, who's been in this same situation in the last inning, the other night and again today. And we'll see how they play him. He's going to hit this ball, I predict, to the left side, either the hole between the shortstop and third baseman, or he's going to hit it off this pitcher's bare hand side.
Right, give me the inside a little bit. Yes, sir. Ready? Play.
Baker, hard hit back.
That middle infielder moved, cheated that way, and he caught it. And they're going to score Bazat all the way from first.
29-20.
Two more insurance runs. You can never have enough in this game. Never have enough. The only thing here is Team USA has the hammer. Makes a nice play getting it back in, but a little late.
Another base hit. And another run. And it's 30-20.
That's what Coach told you, Clay, that they wanted 30.
30 on 10, and they've done both.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Now you got Dianatis, who's perfect for the game so far.
Well, at least his spot is.
Yeah.
And he has got a couple of hits. Folk, a couple of run-producing doubles in his spot in the order.
Dead ball.
We'll see what he tries to do here, whether he's going to go up the middle or...
Illegal.
He's very selective in his balls and strikes. He's got one of the better eyes in the game. That's a big walk there.
Turning into another long inning for Team Canada, and it's going to be hard to muster energy now after another long inning in the field and falling behind by double digits.
And only having 2 home runs. Now, if you're down 10 and you got 5 or 6 home runs, that's another story. With 2, their hands are pretty much tied.
Let me know, big man.
And they don't have them out here yet either. I mean, they can still get 3 or 4 more runs.
Down the line, base hit. Gino Buck.
You watch Dianatis run the bases. That's a triple there.
A 2-run triple.
They might get 3 more runs and end it right here.
It's 15 after 5, right?
Right. They get 3 more runs, the game's over.
Boy, this seemed implausible back in the second, third inning. When
top of the 4th, it
was 18-4 Team Canada. Yeah, at one point.
Same deal the other night. It was, I think, 21-3 at one point. Coach needs to figure out how he can wake them up earlier. We got Mr. Ruley up.
You got it. He's not near the mound, gets set, and I'll stop him when he get close. All right, let me know when you're ready. Play.
Boy, he has hit well out of this spot in the lineup, and this might be an out.
It is.
Gone, home run, and an out because the United States has used up its 10 home run limit. But some big insurance runs, Denny Helmig. It's now 32-20 going to the top of the 7th, the last chance for Team Canada.
They did what they had to do, Team USA.
Presentation of the 2012 General Tire Border Battle is brought to you by Kingsford Charcoal, Slow Down and Grill. By Progressive. Visit progressive.com today. And by Lumber Liquidators, hardwood floors for less.
Team USA leading 32-20 as we go to the top of the 7th, the last chance for Team Canada. That 4th inning for Team USA was impressive. They sent 25 to the plate. They scored 20 runs, and that really is the difference in this game because from that point on, when the tide turned, Denny.
Just like the other night, only this time they got ahead and they increased the lead. They put Bazat in here in the middle infield. I want to watch how he plays the middle of this, how he plays games with the hitters. He did this the other night and gave Team USA fits.
They go away from him, down the line, and foul. Off the wall for Falardo.
They moved Bryson Baker out to left field. Rainwater with that injury to Rainwater. People are probably wondering why Bazat has red pants on where he was brought up from the futures team.
2 strikes. I got you. You tell me verbally, sir.
Yeah, Bazat is running all over the field, isn't he?
He did this the other night for 7 innings, and I mean, he made some plays.
Go get him, Spike!
To center.
But see, he forced the guy, when he cheated the other way, he forced the batter to try to go opposite of him, and the ball sailed for the out.
1 down, Canada down to 2. Canada has 2 home runs to work with yet.
You let me know, sir.
They're moving their defense, so here, look how far out he is right now. All right.
Play.
Here he goes again.
Ball.
Team USA needs 2 more here.
Right. Attaboy. Good work. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Notice how Purcell is set. When he releases that ball, he is back into that hole, and he's set for anything up the middle.
Go get it. Get to the fence. Get to the fence.
That's out of here.
That's a home run.
Catch.
For Chevette, but it's a solo shot, and that means Canada has 2 home runs left to play with.
And I don't think that's going to be enough. And the gentleman coming up now, I think, either hit 2 or 3 today. I know, it's the on-deck hitter.
32-21 now after that home run by Chevette. And Frank Henry, who has 4 hits, Denny, but has yet to leave the yard. Now he's just thinking about getting on base for the guys behind him.
When he gets close, I'm going to stop him.
I mean, Canada's not out of this. I mean, if they can string some hits together here. But if they could get a walk or somebody to boot a ball or whatever.
Tries to go opposite field. Long run for Wegman.
Catch.
And gets out of play.
You know, it looks like there's a lot of room out there in that outfield, but if them balls hang long enough, these outfielders are fleet of foot and they can run them down.
Gotta be here. Gotta be.
Plus now he's got 2 strikes.
Just
so
tell me
he's got
verbally.
defense here at the plate.
Yeah, 1 ball, 2 strikes now.
Now he'll be watching Bazat run around out here. You're better off not even paying attention to him. Just hit it where you can hit it hard and hope.
Play. Illegal.
Called it 2 flat.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Canada really, though, has got to be proud of their performance here today. A lot of people figured they'd come in here and just get destroyed by these guys, and that hadn't happened. I mean, they made them play.
Henry is retired, and Canada is down to its last out.
You would have to say this Canadian team has really played a lot better than last year's squad. And the new faces they had produced, and
Big man, tell me when you're
it was
ready.
a dogfight. And you know, the game of slow pitch needs games like this to be competitive to help grow the sport back to where it was in the mid-'80s.
Bruce Caden had to his 3 home runs today.
Time.
All 3 2-home run shots.
I got to believe he's going to try to get his 4th right here.
Play.
Nope.
Hard hit under the glove of Rulli.
And they got life.
He'll get a double out of this. And Canada is not done. As Chase Son comes up.
They're going to put a pinch runner in for him here.
Just let me know verbally, sir.
I mean, you've got to make every play in this game. I mean, I can't stress that enough. If you boot a ball, that runner usually scores. That walks.
Brad Rankin is going to pinch run.
Really, both pitchers today have done a better job than the other night of not walking people. I think we've only had a couple walks maybe one on each side. But we need a hit here. Keep it going.
Make a play. Somebody make a play for me right here. Let's go. Come on, Jay. Come on, Jay.
Claude Chason.
Got 60 hits and 53 runs so far.
He has 3 hits today, a solo home run, and a couple of singles. He has scored 3 times. Communication here on the pinch runner. While Team USA is poised to take the border battle for the 3rd time. 2 years ago they lost to Team Canada, but definitely the United States to win again here today if they can lock it up.
2 years in a row.
Of the bragging rights, huh?
Yes.
To short. DiDonatis, who has played an exceptional shortstop, ends the game, and Team USA wins border battle 4, 32-21.
And USA keeps the trophy.
And the big stick of the game is that man, Greg Cannell. Presented by Lumber Liquidators. That 3-run home run as part of that 4th inning was huge, and he also had an RBI triple.
And we said before the game that he was the guy who kind of steers the team to batting in that number 2 slot. But you got to give Canada credit here, too. They really played well.
32 runs on 34 hits for Team USA. They had 10 home runs. Team Canada started out hot, couldn't finish.